Welcome back, everybody, to the Word Around the Ring podcast. My name is Big Rob, and I'll let my tag team partner reintroduce himself.
You could call me King Jess, and we're the only podcast more interesting than a Becky Lynch Mania fill-in. Mania's in the books, and the GOAT has won 17. Rollins has a new wise man. Brother, we got a lot to get to, so Rob, what's been the word around the ring?
I've been upset for the last 48 hours. I've been upset since I left the stadium. Listen, I apologize. I apologize because maybe I care too much about this. Maybe I all too just give a fuck or give too many fucks about this situation here. But I cannot help but be honest with the situation that I just watched unfold beneath my eyes. Like, what are we doing? We had from the beginning, we had a layup, a layup. It was an easy layup. There was a plan in place. There was a layup from the beginning. And it's unfortunate because I am a big John Cena fan. I love John Cena. That's my dog. First WrestleMania 41 that I got to attend. Only reason I wanted to attend was to see John Cena wrestle his final match at WrestleMania because I was excited. No matter what, heel, babyface did not matter. Don't give a fuck about any of that. I was excited. I was looking forward to seeing the match. You and I both predicted John Cena to win. Both predicted John Cena to win. It made sense for him to win in my eyes. But just the execution of it all was just a complete utter mess from the beginning, from the get-go. From the moment that at Elimination Chamber, The Rock decided to make an appearance weeks before with this dumbass storyline about, oh, Cody Rhodes, I want your soul. Before that, his appearance before telling Cody Rhodes that he wants his soul was at the Raw on Netflix, telling Cody Rhodes, hey, we're best friends now. Can't wait to share a drink with you afterwards. Before that, his appearance was Bad Blood, with Cody and Roman Reigns teaming up in the tag match main event. After the show was over, he comes out, does a little stupid fucking slit your throat shit, and he counts 1, 2, 3, and then he brings that back in the heel turn at Elimination Chamber with John Cena when Cody Rhodes tells him to go fuck himself, and then he looks at John Cena, does the slit throat again, and Cena turns heel. Okay, all right. So now we have a reason that Cena turned heel at Elimination Chamber, right? Bam. That's the final pay-per-view before WrestleMania. So I'm made to believe. We're left here believing. And mind you, I didn't even bring up Travis Scott. He was also part of that dumbass heel turn. Anyways, so all three of them were there, right? Bam. So now we have this connection. No matter fucking what, no matter what, this connection has been made because arguably what they're deeming as the biggest heel turn in wrestling history took place at Elimination Chamber with The Rock, Travis Scott, and John Cena all partaking in the beatdown of Cody Rhodes. Okay, I get it. At the time, I was upset as a John Cena fan. I said, fuck. I wanted to see my go out as a good guy, as what I've seen over the course of the last 17 years. You know what? I sat with it. I said, all right, he turned heel. Let's see what they got. Then I enjoyed the buildup. John Cena wasn't there. Not really. Maybe what, 3 or 4 weeks we got promos out of a 8-week buildup to WrestleMania. Whatever. The excuse is he's a heel. He wants you to hate him. Whatever. Sure. Anyways, we got a solid buildup between both Cody Rhodes and John Cena. Throughout the whole time, what were you asking? Where's The Rock? When is The Rock gonna make an appearance? Why were we asking these questions? Because the motherfucker was a pivotal part of John Cena turning heel. Am I right or wrong?
You're right.
Okay, so all fucking build up long, we're waiting. Where's The Rock? Where's The Rock? Where's The Rock? Rock doesn't show up. Nothing happens. We're okay. All right, whatever. Maybe he's gonna show up at WrestleMania, etc. This is what everyone was thinking, was hoping for, kind of, because at some point we need a conclusion to that story. We need to understand why John Cena decided to sell his soul to The Rock. Why do we need to understand that? Because The Rock, that was the whole shtick, was selling your soul. I need a champion. I need a champion, someone to be my brother. That is what he sold the crowd. That is not what he sold. That's what he sold everybody. He sold the audience, the viewers, everyone that tunes in on a weekly basis, that tuned into Elimination Chamber. And even before then, he's this character of the final boss. So he wants us to pay attention to what he's saying, and we're paying attention to what he's saying. But he doesn't provide any continuity. There's no continuity in any of this fucking storyline over the course of the last year. It's all been bullshit. The shit with him coming out at Elimination Chamber. Where do we go from there? Fucking nowhere. We got no conclusion to that. We didn't get any segments with Solo, with Roman, with Cody in regards to that, because the next time we saw him on television, he was talking to Cody about him being his fucking best friend. So then we get that bullshit, right? Oh, now Rock and Cody are best friends, even after he came out, showed face at Elimination Chamber, and stared him down in what seemed to be like, okay, maybe we're gonna get some build up to Roman and The Rock. Nope, none of that, right? All right, let's move forward. We get to the Raw on Netflix, now they're best friends. Okay, whatever bullshit we get from that. We move forward from there, and then he's back in fucking March. Oh, Cody, I want you to sell your soul to me. And so now we have this whole soul selling shit that no one is bringing up in the course of WrestleMania. So why the fuck even implement that in John Cena's heel turn? If you weren't gonna bring it up, if it wasn't gonna play any role, then what the fuck was the point of doing that in the first place? There was none. There was none. I'm made to believe these guys have this shit all planned out. They have this shit all planned out. And then he goes on the Pat McAfee show today. Motherfucker talking about, oh, I wasn't gonna show up at WrestleMania because I wanted John Cena and Cody Rhodes to have all the fucking glory. So why the fuck we send out Travis Scott then? Why the fuck did we send out Travis Scott in the middle of a WrestleMania match? In the middle of what is could be arguably the biggest, the grandest moments of John Cena's 20-year career. Arguably the grandest moment, the moment where he's crowned as the 17th champion. You send out a rapper, you send out an individual that has nothing to do with professional wrestling at all. Travis Scott has not even taken a fucking bump in the ring. He hasn't done anything, absolutely anything to be in a fucking WWE ring besides just walk out with The Rock and have the theme song to WrestleMania. But oh, it's all right. It's all right. Let's have this motherfucker walk down the ramp, take 3 minutes to play that stupid ass song we heard over the course of the fucking weekend, come in with his dumbass championship belt, the same fake ass belt that The Rock has, or some similar. He has a hardcore belt, fucking as fake as the People's Champions belt, comes out. And then he gets in a little fucking confrontation with Cody Rhodes. Cody Rhodes gets his one fucking crossroads in. Didn't even really get his receipt for the shit that Travis Scott did to him at Elimination Chamber. But whatever, that's besides the fucking point. Anyways, Travis Scott comes out, helps John Cena with a distraction. In that moment, John Cena then gets the championship belt. Him and Cody have a bit of a tug of war for the belt. Then Cody wins it, of course. Cody struggles. Cody struggles like a fucking idiot to hit John Cena with the belt to win the match. Even after John Cena had cheated already. He had already fucking cheated. Travis Scott had already come down and try to help him cheat. And then he cheated again. But Cody Rhodes was like, nah, I don't want to hit my fucking opponent with the belt because I'm a good guy. What the fuck am I watching? So he doesn't do that shit. John Cena kicks him in the nuts, hits him with the fucking belt, and then he takes the pin. 1, 2, 3. And you know what's funny? Looking back at it on television, I don't think anyone in that fucking arena was of the belief that at that moment in time the pin was going to be taken. I thought there's no way Cody's taking the L like that. Cody has to kick out. Nah, I was wrong. Cody didn't kick out. John Cena wins 17. Congratulations, John Cena. He won his 17th title at WrestleMania 41. What a fucking fantastic moment that will always have the asterisk of being helped by Travis fucking Scott. And it just pisses me off. It just pisses me off because what is supposed to be such a great moment, I can't overlook the fact that we have some individual that has nothing to do with any part of John Cena's career at all, or anything to do with even the WWE. In the process of this entire situation, you managed to do two fucking things. You managed to ruin the main event of WrestleMania. And also, I'm gonna keep it 100 with you. The match itself, ass. The match itself, ass. It wasn't a good fucking match. It wasn't. I don't give a fuck. It was a slow match, and I get it. John Cena's old, whatever. I wasn't expecting a 5-star match, but bro, if you're gonna give me a shit match, at least give me a good fucking finish. I didn't even get that. I just got shat on, and so did Cody fucking Rhodes. Cody Rhodes just got made look like a complete fucking idiot, and he loses his championship because of the help of a fucking rapper that doesn't even make that good of music anymore. He dropped probably a good album in the last fucking one good album in the last 6 years. And I just I cannot believe I got motherfuckers talking about, oh, but he told you he was gonna ruin wrestling. That's besides the fucking point. It's still bad writing, bad execution, bad television, and it's just absolutely fucking ridiculous. And of course, you get the bald motherfucker on day 2 after WrestleMania is over on the Pat McAfee show talking about, oh, why would I show up? It's all about John Cena and Cody Rhodes. Again, then why the fuck involve yourself in the first place? Because you fucking knew the moment you involved yourself, people weren't just gonna be like, oh, John Cena and The Rock are aligned now. Let's just forget about The Rock and focus on Cena. No, that was going to be the case. And also, he just told us on fucking this morning that the original plan for John Cena's fucking last year was not to turn him heel. It wasn't to turn him heel. They decided to turn him heel all because TKO, Ari Emanuel said, hey, Elimination Chamber tickets aren't doing so well. Guess what? Guess what? At that point, they had already sold 27,000 tickets. And they still had fucking time to sell more tickets. But he decided to call The Rock, say, hey, bro, I'm gonna need you to show up at this pay-per-view because something's not going well. We need to sell a little bit more fucking tickets. Hey, asshole. How about you just drop the fucking price a little bit and make the shit affordable for people to actually go to the shit with their friends and their fucking family instead of doing some dumb shit like interjecting The Rock into a story that he doesn't need to be involved in. So then we get that. We get The Rock coming up with some bullshit story. And the original plan for Rock's first idea was, hey, how about we tell Cody to sell his soul and Cody turns heel? What a great fucking idea that was. But hey, Cody's actually a smart fucking individual, but a smart individual, but also a dumbass at the same time for not vetoing any of this shit. And he said, I'm not doing that. I'm not going to turn heel. Why the fuck would I do that? All right. So then what's the next plan? Let's turn John Cena heel. So John Cena was the second choice. John Cena's heel turn was the second choice. But I'm supposed to believe that they have a plan, that they have a whole outline lined up for the rest of this year. I don't fucking believe it. And I don't give a fuck. But my goodness, my goodness. So we get that situation all because the motherfucker wanted to sell a couple more tickets because he wanted to sell out a show in Toronto. Bitch, how about you just drop the goddamn prices a little bit and you might get a few more fucking tickets and people in there that actually enjoy the shit. But no, you decided to go that route. All right. So now we're fucked. Now John Cena's a heel. Now we go this route. And hey, power to Cena. He's done a solid job. He's done a solid job of being a heel. He has. But you have to understand, if you're Triple H, if you're Ari Emanuel, if you are The Rock, you have to understand, you have to be fucking smart enough to realize that, hey, when we announced that John Cena was going to do this fucking retirement tour, people were going to come see John Cena and cheer for John Cena no matter what. No matter if John Cena is a heel or not, he was going to get cheered. He was going to get cheered because it's his last fucking year of wrestling, and the people for the course of the last 18 years have loved to hate him and have hated to love him, but they all fucking love him. And they're all there. They cheer or they boo. But this one time, unanimously, the universe was going to cheer John Cena because they wanted to see the guy that had worked so fucking hard over the course of the last 20 years to beat a record that seemed unbeatable. And he did it in the most fucking ridiculous way. In the most ridiculous way. And they had a layup. They had to understand that the motherfucker was going to get cheered regardless. I don't have a problem with the motherfucker turning heel. I do not. But you got to understand the situation that you're in. Babyface John Cena is what we should have gotten throughout the entire year. Again, I don't care that they went heel, but you have to realize the layup that you had. Why in the first place did you not just have the motherfucker go up with Gunther at WrestleMania instead of Cody Rhodes? Now you got Cody Rhodes without a championship, and he looks like a complete bitch. Gunther, on the other hand, also just fucking lost the championship to another guy that can't wrestle. I don't even want to get into that shit because that shit's gonna piss me off even more. And now we're just stuck in this conundrum. And now I really hope, because I got other motherfuckers telling me that, oh, there's a plan. John Cena's gonna turn face by the end of the year. And I really hope that he doesn't. I really hope that he doesn't, so I could see the reaction and just the discourse of the course of the next couple of months. And and I really do hope, as he showed up on Monday Night Raw yesterday, he said, I got 30 some dates left. I don't even gotta wrestle them. I hope he don't wrestle them. I really hope he doesn't. I hope he wrestles maybe 3 or 4 more times to even piss more people off, because this is fucking ridiculous. What I just witnessed on Sunday was fucking ridiculous. I have never been more upset watching this shit. I didn't even want to watch the Raw after Mania. And shout out to them, because that was a good, I thought it was a solid episode of television, but I couldn't even enjoy it because I was so pissed off about what the fuck I just saw. And I I just don't know what to make of it. I just don't know what to make of it. I do not trust them at all. Like, I have no faith in whatever bullshit they're putting in front of me, because they don't care about continuity. They clearly don't care about story. They don't. They don't. In some pockets they do. And they've been really good at it. And I don't think it's Triple H's fault all the way. I think it's The Rock's fault. I think he's a fucking asshole. I think he doesn't know what the fuck he wants. And maybe this is a receipt for the fans doing what they did to him last year, telling him, fuck you, we're picking Cody. Maybe that's what this is. Maybe this is karma. But my God, to go out there and ruin a moment like that, in fucking insane. Absolutely insane. There's nothing that I can equate the anger that I'm feeling to. There's nothing in comparison that I could put this in perspective for someone who doesn't watch wrestling. There's nothing, because there's never been any bullshit like this across any other fucking sport, across any other form of entertainment, because because people are smart, unlike the fucking Rock and whoever made this dumbass decision here. But I'm tired of talking. I'm
Are
still
you?
upset. I'm still upset. Absolutely ridiculous. But I want to hear your thoughts on the main event of WrestleMania and how this show closed out. Any rebuttals to what I just said? I appreciate you letting me get the word off here. I just cannot believe what the fuck I just saw, and I'm supposed to be okay with it, and I'm not. And I'm not. And then he went on Monday Night Raw and didn't explain any of it. Didn't explain any of it. Didn't tell us why Travis Scott was there. Didn't tell us, didn't bring up The Rock. There's nothing. Just a basic ass heel promo. Fuck you guys. I told you what I was gonna do, and I'm gonna leave at the end of the year with the championship. That was it. No explanation to the bullshit we just saw. And I'm glad Cody Rhodes didn't show up. And I hope Cody doesn't show up for a while. I hope he doesn't. Because what they just did to him as well made him look like a bitch. I didn't even really talk about Cody. That shit really pisses me off too. And again, it's the fans. It's the fans, bro. You were there on Friday. You were fucking there on Friday. They booed him and they booed him and they booed him. And even when they decided, Las Vegas had decided on Friday that no matter what happened, when Cody Rhodes and John Cena were going to be in the ring together, one person was going to be cheered and one person was going to be booed. The one that was going to be cheered was John Cena, no matter what. The person that was going to be booed, unfortunately, even as a babyface, even as the good guy for the course of the last 2 months, even as the individual that kept telling the fans, you chose me, I choose you, those motherfuckers booed him. And even when they booed him, he's so good at his fucking job that he could have 45-second promo, cleaned house on John Cena, and they cheered him. And they fucking cheered him because he's so goddamn good at his job. But they didn't give a fuck about that on Sunday. They just said, fuck Cody Rhodes. Let's have him look like a dumb bitch. Let's not have him go out here and fucking hit John Cena with the championship belt, even though after he got cheated, he got hurt, he got beat up, he got hit by the belt, he got hit by the turnbuckle that was uncovered. But Cody didn't have the fucking goal to just get a lick of revenge back on John Cena, even after the matches that he's had with AJ Styles. AJ Styles said, I quit in that I quit match, and he still hit him with the steel steps. The match was over with Kevin Owens. He still put that motherfucker through the ladder, stood over him, raised both belts while his best friend hugged him. But I'm supposed to believe that Cody fucking Rhodes on WrestleMania of Night 2 decided, oh no, I'm not gonna hit John Cena with the belt because I'm a good guy. Get the fuck out of here. Get the fuck out of here. This shit is ridiculous. And oh my god, I genuinely have never been more disgusted by a decision that has been made creatively. I have never. I've watched this shit since the time I was fucking 5, 6 years old. Since I can have my first memory. Since I can have my first memory, I've watched this shit. And I have never felt there was a moment in time that has forced me to be like, damn, I really want to turn this TV off for a couple fucking weeks and just not watch this shit. Cause they really pissed me off. And I just cannot. I cannot. But I'm gonna shut the fuck up and I'm gonna give you the floor. I'm gonna just shut the fuck up and give you the floor. I got nothing else to say. I think.
let's let's start off by saying anytime Rob said motherfuckers be telling me, he was referencing to me. I've been trying to talk this kid off of a bridge since fucking Sunday night. I love the passion. This is what wrestling's fucking about, though, is that you are so fucking passionate about this shit, bro. This is what it's supposed to do. It's supposed to make us fucking feel something, even if it's not in a good way. Right now you're completely mad at it because you feel like the product has turned its back on you, and you know what, fair. I'm not gonna take that from you. I for the most part, on every topic you hit, I think I agree. I just don't think I'm seeing it in the same light towards the long run as you are, and we'll get to that. Let's start off where you started off. I think that my biggest gripe with everything that went down from the beginning is the involvement of The Rock and Travis Scott, because if The Rock was not going to put his all in, which I think we even said that when he first popped, if he's not going to give it his all, don't come back. And that's exactly what happened, is he came back again, didn't give it his all, gave us some half-baked fucking story with some horrible tie-ins, aka, Travis Scott, that we now have to use for whatever fucking reason. And we get the shitty moment at WrestleMania. I am not mad at WrestleMania. I'm not mad at the John Cena Cody Rhodes match. Yes, I agree with you. It was a little bit boring. John Cena is definitely fucking a lot slower now. And and I think that, for the most part, Cody Rhodes was carrying that match. But at the end of the day, the finish was going to be John Cena wins. And I don't think any of us are mad. I don't think any of us are mad at that. None of us were going to be mad if he won. The thing that irks me, the thing that ruined this moment for me, was the involvement of Travis Scott, because from his involvement forward, this match went to shit. And I even told the people that were around me, like, I feel robbed because this is John Cena's last WrestleMania. There is no other one. This, for me, even as a fan just watching at home, this was supposed to be a moment for me. I fully expected, I'm not even gonna lie, I fully expected to cry seeing him hold that fucking belt, and I feel the involvement of Travis Scott in this whole situation robbed me as a fan of enjoying that moment. So from the start, D-Rock and Travis Scott should have never fucking been involved with this. If they wanted to, I was of the notion that we knew that the original plan was to sell Cody Rhodes' soul, but he was against it. People in the back were against it, and the second choice was, of course, John Cena. Even if the first choice was John Cena and he went heel during this run, I don't think he needed help from anybody, and I still don't think he needs help from anybody. I feel like going forward, we need to drop whatever fucking involvement we had to The Rock and Travis Scott and just try and fucking forget about it. Even if you hate that, we have to, because there is no point in time later on the road that I need to see their involvement in this. None. I just want to see John Cena go on his retirement tour, whether that be a heel or a face, whether that be a heel turning back into a face. I don't care. I just want to see him do his retirement tour. Just him. I don't need the extra bullshit. He doesn't need help. He's a superstar that can carry the company on his own, that can carry a storyline on his own if he needs to. So give us that. Give us the retirement tour we all expected, even if it is a heel. It seems like Randy Orton's the next stop. After that, shit, give me CM Punk. If you want to give me the classics going forward, give me the fucking classics. But I am with you that what happened on Sunday was not right. The explanation he tried to give us on Monday was not appropriate. But if that's where it dies, then that's where it fucking dies. I'm excited to see John Cena, Randy Orton. That's where it looks like where we're focusing going forward. And I just hope that this really is the last time that we have to deal with the stupid involvement of The Rock and Travis Scott in association with John Cena, because I am over it. And I do feel a little bit bad with Cody. I don't agree with you that he is being made to look like a bitch just because he didn't hit him with the belt. I feel like that is a very face thing to do. I understand where the angerment's coming from. You got hit him back. But Cody has been through and through that champion that we know he is, that champion that WWE loves to fucking trot around. So he wasn't going to hit him. I was okay with that decision. But I am not okay with the way that he carried on after the match past that. Go ahead.
Yeah, I would just like to interject with that. I hear you. I hear you with Cody Rhodes being the babyface. You're 100% correct. But that edge that he chose not to show John Cena on Sunday by hitting him with the belt, he has shown that in previous matches, which is my gripe, which is my problem. So why not do that in the biggest match of them all, in the most important match, in the match where you're trying to stop the motherfucker that is telling you he's telling you he's going to take your title and go home. He's going to ruin wrestling. So you, as a babyface, as being a man for the people, you have to do everything in your fucking power to stop him from doing that. And even after he cheated time and time again in the same match, you had an opportunity to even the playing field, even by a little bit. It wasn't even going to be totally even, but you had an opportunity to even the playing field and you didn't take it. And I think that just makes you as a face and just in general look ridiculous. It makes you look ridiculous. And I just had to interject it because I disagree with that.
You're good. No, you're good, and that's a very valid point, because that goes into what I was gonna say next. It could have if it didn't end this way, right? There was still time, brother. We were looking at the clock the whole time. There was still time for something to happen. Like you said, it didn't even feel like that's how the match should have ended. That finish didn't feel like the finish that should have happened. And with the amount of time that was just left, I think it was like what 7:45 when everything was shut down.
Like, yes.
I'm like, brother, there's 15 minutes. Something went wrong. Something is missing. This is not the finish we were supposed to get. Whatever, but still, like it just didn't feel right. There in that time, you could have probably gone back. You could have had Cody had his moment, and hit him, get that revenge, and it wouldn't have worked out in the end, and John Cena still would have won. But you had time to do that, and you decided not to, and that's the problem. Because now it is that the problem is that what do you do with Cody? You can't really throw him anywhere instantly, because now he just lost, and he lost in a horrible fashion. So what do you do with fucking Cody now? I it's confusing, bro. Like I'm not as upset as you, but it's confusing as shit.
Starting to see it, though.
No, it's not even not even the starting to see it. Like I said from the beginning, I am with you. I see it the way that you're seeing it, but I'm also trying to be a fan that's just trying to fucking get past this shit, because from the first moment that The Rock popped, if you go back and listen to the podcast, I have been saying we need to get rid of this motherfucker. And we should have done that from the fucking start. That ruined this whole fucking plan. Whatever they had planned, whatever the fucking plan for John Cena was, completely ruined over some dumb motherfucker's opportunity of trying to inject himself back into Mania. It's annoying, but I do want to move past it. Like I've said it all night. If this is the end of The Rock and Travis Scott, I'll be happy. Fuck, bro, because this has created more problems than solutions.
But I am willing to bet you that it is not the end of Travis Scott and the involvement of Travis Scott. I am willing to bet anything on the fact that he will be involved moving forward and with John Cena. Listen, they don't do any of this shit not on purpose. Well, yesterday, Monday Night Raw, the motherfucker was wearing some Travis Scott shoes. After the show ended on Sunday, Triple H said Travis Scott want to come in full time. He loves this shit, etc., etc. I think you're again. I think you're hanging on to hope.
He doesn't love this shit though, and I don't know where the fuck they're getting that from. You could have known simply by watching that match that he doesn't love this. It doesn't take 2 kicks and a verbal "get the fuck out" from Cody Rhodes if you're a wrestling fan. One kick from Cody Rhodes after a fucking crossroads, even as a fan, you know to get
Yeah, that
the
was crazy.
fuck out of the fucking ring. Not only that, you want to come back and you want to. John Cena verbally told your ass, stick to the fucking plan because you were doing whatever the fuck you wanted while you're raising belts and shit. Bro, he does not love wrestling. There are other celebrities that I will accept that from. Oh, he loves wrestling. He loves the sport. He wants to be in this. Cool. Bad Bunny? Sure. Logan Paul? Sure. Travis Scott? Absolutely fucking not. And I don't know. Look, I am hoping, and maybe you're right. Maybe I'm being fucking delusional. I am hoping that all the
I
connections right now
think you
are
are.
just being fulfilled out of some contract they had from previous bullshit they had planned. From the merch, from all that shit, they're probably just fulfilling fucking contractual obligations, and we don't ever see this motherfucker again. Because I'm telling you right now, he doesn't love wrestling. He has nothing to do in that fucking ring.
I agree with you. I agree with you, bro. But I'm telling you, they don't give a fuck about the fact that he doesn't care or love wrestling the same way a fan might. All they care about is how much revenue and how many eyes and how many views is being brought because of his involvement into this match. And even us, we're talking about it.
Mhm.
That's all they give a fuck about. That's all they give a fuck about. They don't care about how we feel. They don't care about nothing but how much money and how much revenue they gross over this weekend and over the weekends to come. And they're going to keep doing it, but they're going to lose goodwill with their fucking fans that they have built over the course of the last over the course of a fucking lifetime, man. 40 fucking years. Been through a lot of dumb shit. Been through a lot of dumb shit. Been through a whole lot of dumb shit. But at least with the dumb shit we've seen before, it involved fucking wrestlers, or it involved people that had to do with the story, and it at least made some sort of fucking sense. This is nonsensical shit that I'm witnessing here. It's just ridiculous, fucking ridiculous, absolutely ridiculous. I cannot believe this shit. And where does Cody Rhodes come back? Where does he come back? Because he can't challenge for the belt. He can't challenge for the belt. And we've seen, you know what's gonna happen? You know what's gonna fucking happen. I'm gonna tell you what's gonna happen here. I'm gonna tell you what's gonna happen at Backlash in a fucking month. It's gonna be a one-on-one match between John Cena and Randy Orton. They're gonna go 10, 12 minutes of just slow shit where Randy Orton carries. And it's sad, man. It's sad because I feel like I'm turning my back on my back on my goat. And I really does. I can't believe it. I cannot believe what I am seeing. But he's gonna carry this match because Randy's been carrying, or not carrying, but Randy's done a great job over the course of the last year since he's returned. They're gonna have a solid feud. If maybe John Cena shows up to work, we'll see. Um, we're gonna get the one-on-one 12 minutes into the match. Of course, similar to WrestleMania 41, Travis Scott gonna come out. He's gonna try to help fucking Randy Orton. And guess who's gonna come out on the other side? Cody fucking Rhodes. So we're gonna get Cody's helping out Randy, etc., etc. But somehow, some way, Cena's still gonna win. I I fucking promise you, man. I promise you. This is not the last you're seeing of Travis Scott. It is not. It's not going to be. And and I just cannot believe what I'm seeing. I cannot believe what I'm seeing. I can't believe what I'm seeing. And then Dwayne the Rock Johnson again with the whole on the Pat McAfee show today. Hey, why should I show up at WrestleMania? The moment is about John Cena and Cody Rhodes. You made the moment about yourself when you involved yourself in the heel turn. We needed answers. We needed to see why it happened. We needed to understand why it happened. We didn't get any of those answers. It is unfucking believable. And then he says the final boss is done. 20 minutes later, comes back. He's talking about, we're gonna revisit the final boss at some point. And and I just can't fucking believe it. He also was talking about I didn't even mention the fact that he went on there and said, Cody's a great champion. He had to lose it this one time, but he'll be back. He'll carry the belt again. And then we've talked about him going heel because he's such a smart individual that we've had these discussions. We've had these discussions of him turning heel. He just doesn't feel like it's time yet. We don't feel like it's time yet, but I'm sure at some point it's bound to happen. Not verbatim, a synopsis of what the fuck he just told us on television. Again, why? Why are you telling us what the fuck you and Cody are having private conversations about the plans, the future plans for his character development? Like, why is this even, bro? It's the most ridiculous shit I've ever seen. I cannot understand why he's doing this. Like, what the fuck is going on? Who is allowing this shit? Actually, like, why is it there no one on the creative team telling him to shut the fuck up? I genuinely want to understand, like, what is going on. I don't know. I I am exhausted. I am tired of being upset. You know, there's this saying, I'm sick and tired of being sick and tired. Over the course of the last 48 hours, I've been sick and tired. I've been angry. I want to work angry this morning, and I'm gonna be angry tomorrow when I wake up. And I just can't believe what I saw. But you know what? You know what? I'm gonna move on. I'm gonna move on. We're just gonna see, as you said. Let's just see what happens. Let's just see what happens. I need a break. I'm glad today is Tuesday when we're recording this, and the next show I'm not watching is until Friday because I need a fucking break. I need a break from this shit. This shit really fucking pissed me off. It pissed me off so much so that I started looking at the AEW card. I said, what the fuck
No,
they got going on over there? Because this shit is
brother,
ridiculous.
no,
What I
no.
just saw, what I just saw on Sunday, I was like, what is AEW cooking? Where's
Brother, no,
MJF at?
no,
Where's
no.
where is MJF at
I'm
in this
stopping you.
storyline with the Hurt business or the Hurt
I
Syndicate,
am fucking
whatever the
stopping
fuck
you
they're
right
calling
now.
AEW.
Whatever
But
WWE is doing
I
right now
have
is
thought about it.
not, no, don't even say that shit. It is not worth even fucking
I don't know,
considering the
man.
thought of going and watching that dog shit ass fucking product. Do not even fucking say it, brother.
Nah, man.
Don't even
At
say
least,
it.
at least, at least they'll give me a dumbass story, but a solid fucking main event. Just ridiculous. Ridiculous. I fucking A, man. I don't even know where to move on from here. How about we move on to night one of
Oh,
WrestleMania
Tim Morgie.
41 in Las Vegas, Nevada. My God, the World Heavyweight Championship, Gunther versus Jey Uso. You had predicted that Gunther was gonna win. Of course, I told you. I said, bro, just accept
Yeah.
it. Just accept it. That the fact of the matter is that Jey Uso will be walking away as the World Heavyweight Champion. Now, there were moments in this match where I said, you know what, maybe Gunther got it. Power bomb here, power bomb there. They were getting it in. Gunther was fucking him up. A lot of chops at the beginning of this match. Credit to Jey Uso. Credit to Jey Uso there. I thought the match in particular wasn't anything too special. I thought their Saturday night main event match in January was a better match in totality all than the match that we saw at WrestleMania. And then of course the winner was Jey Uso. The way he won it, he hit 3 frog splashes on Gunther. And then after that, instead of going for the pin, he decided to use his own sleeper hold on Gunther. And then Gunther tapped out with what felt like within 2 to 3 seconds. But it was an 18-minute match here. So they gave him some solid time to work. Of course, fucking 14 of the let me not be disrespectful. Maybe 6 of those minutes were just chops and punches and whatever Jey Uso shit that he had to do. And hey, to my surprise, I think he only got off like 2 super kicks when we saw that shit.
Yeah, it was
It
like
was
2 or
great.
3. Yeah.
Dude, and it was towards the end of the match. And so when he got it off, we were like, yo, what? I completely forgot that he even had that in his bag. And I get like, he didn't use it up until that moment to the point where I popped. I said, oh shit, I forgot he got the super kick. So I thought that was fucking hilarious. But Jey Uso is our current World Heavyweight Champion. He showed up on Monday Night Raw after to celebrate, hit like 10 minutes of yeets. Sami Zayn returned. Sammy's back, guys. And Sammy returned, and I genuinely thought Sammy was gonna give him a haluva kick, and it would have been fucking great. But that didn't happen. And Sammy shouldn't be a heel. Sammy shouldn't be a fucking heel, but I just thought that was gonna happen. Anyways, I want to hear your thoughts on this match. On how are you feeling about Jey Uso
I
being
fucking
your world
can't.
heavyweight about Jey Uso being your world heavyweight champion?
I
Because now he
fucking
got to
can't.
wrestle. Now he got to show up to wrestle. So, and he said on Monday
He
night,
said it on
I'm going to
Monday
be a
night.
working champion. He did. He said, I'm going to be a working champion. I'm going to show up every week and I'm gonna defend this title. I'm just gonna like to see it. So, how are you feeling about this? About Gunther losing and then Jey just being our world heavyweight champion. Did you enjoy this match here? Just overall thoughts on this match in general to start off WrestleMania 41.
I'm still recovering from the Sammy's back guy. Brother, what the fuck? I thought, like you said, this match wasn't anything special. You know, they went out there, they hit hard. Gunther got off some fucking chops. Jey got off some moves. He actually started hitting other people's moves, and I think that's why we were surprised when he finally hit a super kick. I think we even pointed it out. He hit like a razor's edge at some point. We're like, when the fuck did he start doing that shit? But yeah, I mean, WWE didn't do what I thought they were going to do, which was the right decision. Have Gunther win. They ended up going with Jey Uso, and I don't know, brother. Between the celebrating on Saturday morning and then the celebrating on Monday, I'm checked out. I don't give a shit. I was really hoping that Braun Breaker was gonna go out there and crack his ass and take that belt on night one, but it seems like they're gonna keep it on him for a bit. What they're gonna do, I don't know. It seems like Sammy was kind of teasing at at attacking him.
For sure.
I even thought that maybe at some point maybe it was gonna be Sammy and Jimmy that were gonna fucking turn on him.
That would have been
some
crazy.
shit. But I don't know. I can't even say I'm excited to see what the fuck happens next because I'm not. I just don't really give a shit about Jey Uso. His championship shirt fucking sucks. I feel like everybody's championship fucking shirts suck though.
Nah, EO's was nice.
EOS was nice. Okay, so maybe one or two had a good shirt, but that fucking heavy heat championship, fucking throw it in the garbage, burn it. Never bring that design back after this. I don't even think we'll get a chance because he's not going to get the belt after losing it. But yeah, I mean, I would give the match overall, I'd give it probably like a 3 out of 5 stars. This wasn't anything special, and at the end of the day, Jey Uso won. So if anything, I'd knock it back down to a 1 star if I could. 3 stars on this fucking match. Yeah. Well, what do you think is next? What do you think is next for Gunther? Actually,
Well, I loved what I saw from Gunther on Monday because following his loss here, we came back from a commercial break on fucking Netflix on Raw on I don't know why I said that. We came back from a commercial break on Monday Night Raw, and Gunther was at the announce table talking shit to Pat McAfee and Michael Cole. And he didn't have a mic. It was just he was just letting them know like you guys are biased or whatever. I think he was just pissed off that they had been cheering for Jey Uso over the course of the last 2 months. He had some grievances he needed to air with them, and he did so. And Michael Cole felt compelled to step up to him, and he thought he was the big boss. So Michael Cole got up, and he was about to get at Gunther's face, and Gunther was like, "I ain't having none of that." So he immediately had knocked the headset off of Michael Cole and put him in a sleeper hold. Then Pat McAfee came to his boy's defense, hit him with a flying elbow, and then security came out, and so did Adam Pearce, and they tried to separate everybody. And Pat McAfee turned his back. He said, "You know what? I'm gonna walk away." And that's when Gunther fucking just pushed everyone out the way, put Pat McAfee in a chokehold for about 3 minutes. And it seemed like he put him in such a good chokehold that his face was getting purple. Um, and I was a little bit nervous, but I thought that was great. I mean, Gunther's probably just gonna wreak some havoc across the roster, I guess, or maybe he's suspended for a few weeks. I don't fucking know. I don't know. I don't know because these motherfuckers don't like to make sense. So who knows? They might just give him a match on Monday for the fuck of it, for his rematch. But anyways, I thought that was a good segment from Gunther. Unfortunately, he did lose the belt. He did carry it for a while. I don't know. I don't know where we go from here. What his next feud is, because I don't imagine they give him a rematch here. They're gonna want Jay to maybe face somebody else. We'll see. I really hope Seth just takes the shit off of him soon. Yeah, someone gotta take the shit off of him. But congratulations to Jey Uso. I think that's of course his first world heavyweight championship. Shout out to himself and his family. I'm sure they're happy about that. I'm sure he will be crowned the tribal chief soon enough.
let's hope not.
But it's gonna happen, man. He's gonna get the Ulafala. Watch. Roman only got about a year or two left. That only he gonna get the Ulafala. I promise you that. But moving on to the second match of night 1 of WrestleMania, we got our World Tag Team Championship match between the War Raiders and the New Day. Here, I had the War Raiders winning with a Big E return. I was only half correct. You had the New Day. Uh, sorry, I wasn't correct at all. What the fuck am I saying? You had the New Day. You were completely correct. They did win this match here within a 12-minute time mark. The finish of this match was Kofi Kingston and Xavier Woods hitting their finisher, the Midnight Hour, on Ivar to actually secure their first WrestleMania victory, which I thought was interesting because I didn't know that was an actual fact. But they did walk away as the World Tag Team Champions. A lot of people following this show felt like the tag match that should have took place here was the Street Profits match or the ladder match that's being advertised for this upcoming Friday night. Um, I didn't think it was anything too crazy. I didn't really care about this match just because there wasn't really a story behind it. Like the story originally was, the New Day turning their back on Big E, but nothing came of that really besides just the heel turn. And now they got their WrestleMania moment as heel World Tag Team Champions. But don't know if you enjoyed this match here. What are your thoughts on the New Day now being the World Tag Team Champions?
I thought the match in general was kind of fun. Nothing super special, but it wasn't a horrible match. The New Day came down and special ring attire, which I always, appreciate. They looked sick. The War Raiders also came down in special ring attire, but it was more sponsor based, which made them look a little silly. If they felt cool,
It did
fuck
look
it,
silly.
cool. But to me, yeah, personally, and to you, it looked a little silly. They definitely just pulled it out of whatever fucking app game that they were promoting. But overall, I kind of knew that the New Day, they've been getting shit on for the past couple months. They've been going through this whole scenario ever since going heel, where no one likes them and the crowd just kind of is over them. And I thought they deserve a win. Whether that be for the tag belts or not, they deserved something. Could we have filled this spot with a better tag match? Absolutely. But this, regrettably, was the tag match that we got, and we both were under the assumption that this was on the card for something bigger to happen, and that just didn't happen. We also thought that that was going to be the case for possibly maybe even a Monday, where like they didn't pop it here, they'll do it on Monday Night Raw, since that's one of the three big shows that are connected to each other. But they also didn't do that. So I have no idea if Biggie's even cleared or ready to come back. So I'm just gonna shelve whatever theories we had regarding the New Day and Biggie for now, because it doesn't seem like we're even gonna pay attention to that for the time being. So now it's just who is going to challenge the New Day for the belts, and I'm excited to see what kind of tag teams pop up. If we get some calls from NXT, and those will be the people that pop up on them, or if we just get some of these new talents that from these promotions that we're starting to acquire, maybe they come and they pop, and we get some of these matches. I just don't want to see New Day in the same matches that we always seen them. Alpha Academy, fucking well, they're not here anymore, but Authors of Pain. Like, I just don't want to see them fall into the same loop. I want to see them do something, and if that later on leads into a bigger New Day, breakup or a story with Big E, then fine. But right now, I just want to see them put some work into those belts. Like you said, it was the first big Mania win, or their first Mania win in general. So take that momentum and do something. Even as a heel, you can do something with those belts. Show us what you got. But overall, yeah, I'd say I'd give this match again another 3 out of 5 stars.
Yeah, I wonder who they're gonna face first. I know you said you wanted them to not face the Alpha Academy, but on Monday night on the Raw after Mania, Alpha Academy and Maxine Dupree did make an entrance while they were celebrating their championship win the previous for in within the previous 48 hours. Maxine came out. She said, "You know what, New Day? The last team that beat you was the Alpha Academy, etc., etc." And then Tozawa and Otis made their way into the ring. They were going to challenge for the belts, to which the New Day had accepted their challenge. But before the bell could ring, we got a return. Rusev is now back in the WWE. He returned for I don't know what fucking reason during a tag match because he's not part of a fucking tag team. So it just felt misplaced as fuck. But he returns and he attacks Otis and Tozawa while the New Day just skate away. And they go to the back and Rusev just ran rampage on Otis and Tozawa, put Otis in his submission move and just left him there as a corpse who left there to die. But Rusev looked fantastic. He looks like he's back in prime form. I can't remember the last time I seen him on a WWE program, but I look forward to seeing what they do with him. I really just thought his fucking, like, why would they bring him out in a tag match? Just makes no fucking sense. But they just did the dumb shit that they did on Sunday, so I don't expect them to make fucking sense. Um, but thoughts on Rusev's return? Anything you're expecting from that? Anything you're excited for with him returning to the WWE?
I think the only gripe that I have with this whole thing was the fact that he came out in a segment that really didn't make sense for him. Like you said, he's not part of a tag team. Why did he interrupt a tag team match? Is it just to start a beef with Otis? I feel like you could have done that without having, interrupted the segment at all. But whatever. Rusev being back though, I'm excited. I used to love Rusev when he was in the WWE. He went away for a while. He's been over in AEW. He's now back, and it seems like anytime wrestlers go away to that company and come back, we kind of push them to the moon. We work with them, we make them better, and they become this product that people want to see. So I'm really excited what plans, or even what kind of ideas they have going forward for Rusev, because they've worked miracles on people down in NXT, like All Ego and fucking Ricky Starks, and they've done stuff with who am I forgetting on the main roster? CM Punk. I mean, just look at CM Punk's return from fucking AEW. They seem to have a grasp on what to do with these wrestlers once they've come back from their hiatus from WWE. So I'm just excited to see what they have planned for him. He looks phenomenal. He went out there, he did all his classic moves, and for the life of me, the fucking crowd actually remembered what to say and what moves he was doing. So that was nice. I feel like that was probably a great moment for him, a great home welcoming home. So yeah, just excited to see what he does past this.
Yeah, I hope he maybe he takes off the goddamn belt from Jey Uso. We'll see, but someone got to do it. He's definitely like an intercontinental champion kind of guy, mid Carter. That would be fucked up if my guy Dom loses that shit to Rusev.
I mean, he used to be a
Um,
great US champ. Put the fucking US belt back on him, dude.
no. That's on Jacob, brother. That's on Jacob. We're getting there. We're getting there. We're getting there. Let me get there, man. But before we can get there, we have another match here, the third match of Saturday night one of WrestleMania 41. Jade Cargill and Naomi. The thing I loved most about this match was the entrance. I'm just kidding. This match was solid. Nothing nothing too crazy here. You and I both had Naomi winning this match because it made the most sense in story, at least I thought. Why not give Naomi the big match here? Jade doesn't really need it. Jade's already a star. She's already a fucking superstar. Just look at her. So I thought the victory here would do wonders for Naomi. But unfortunately, Jade Cargill did win this match. Unfortunately for Naomi, that is. This match went about 9 minutes. I probably I feel like the crowd really gave up on this match here. They weren't that into it, in my opinion. Saturday's crowd was also a little bit dull. They weren't as loud as Sunday's crowd, but for some reason, this match just felt a little bit off. It was a 9-minute match. The way Jade Cargill had won, she delivered a power bomb, followed by her signature move or her finisher, Jaded. She then beat Naomi, and she walked away as the winner following this feud over the course of the last month or so, dating all the way back into earlier in the year when Naomi had pushed Jade onto the windshield. I really, really am happy that this match was a solid match for these two women. I think Jade Cargill has gotten a lot better in the ring. She's still like a super big I don't want to say I guess it is a spot monkey because she knows how to do the really big moves, but like the in between can still get needs a little bit of tweaking on with pacing and stuff. But I enjoyed the match. I thought it was solid. Naomi also is a great in-ring worker, so I always enjoy. She always puts on good matches, and unfortunately for her, Jade Cargill did win. But what were your thoughts on the match here, and how do you feel about Jade taking the W here? Do you think we're going to continue this feud between Naomi and Jade Cargill, or do we move on beyond this feud now that it's all said and done and WrestleMania is now over.
Yeah, I think I called this my sleeper match last week, and I don't think it lived up to that expectation. While this was a fun match, and like you said, both ladies definitely showed out, I don't think the right decision was made. I feel like you said, Naomi was the right decision here. You know, she has a lot more going for her with this recent heel turn, and just the fan reaction that she's been getting. Sure, Jade's getting a big pop, but that's because she's just came back from an injury. You're gonna get that kind of pop when you're freshly back from any time off. So I wish that they would have gone with Naomi. They obviously didn't, but this match was fun. I feel like Naomi is taking the right steps now in her career to establish herself and make herself known and not just kind of blend into the background. And I think Jade also has, a big future ahead of herself. She's just getting, started in this company, so she has a long way to go. There's a lot of training that she can do inside the ring and on the mic, but that's what they're there for. They're there to get better, and I feel like we're surrounding her with the right women for her to learn and grow from. So out of 5 stars, I think I'll give this one. I think I'll give this one my first 4, just because I did enjoy this match. These two ladies did go out there and have a fantastic match. I do think that it would have been appreciated a little bit more if the fans would have paid attention. You mentioned it yourself. The crowd was they dropped off a little bit after during this match. So I feel like that kind of affected how the match was going. But at the end of the day, not a bad match. Just, I think that the wrong decision was made.
For sure. I did love Jade's gear. I thought it looked great. I think it was a Dragon Ball Z reference. Also, Naomi, I think why people are tuning into her now or get caring more is just she just has, that character development, the proceed with caution. I do think that that's been a funny theme for her and it's worked for her. And ever since she's turned heel, she's just stepped away from that glow character, that party animal, I guess. And I think it's worked wonders for her and it's given a reason for people to care. So I'm paying attention. I hope, again, this is why I want her to win. I think it would have done her a bigger favor, but whatever, it is what it is. I think she'll bounce back from this, and I would like to see where this goes on Friday night SmackDown and what even happens with potentially Bianca, and Cargill and Naomi because that's still a cog in this machine as well. So we'll see. We will see what happens and what develops post Mania. But I am glad that they put on a good match there. Speaking of a good match, and one that the crowd did get excited for, the United States Championship match here, which was the fourth match of night one, LA Knight versus Jacob Fatu. We both surprisingly, as guys who love Jacob Fatu, as fans of Jacob Fatu, we both picked LA Knight here, but I do believe we were of the belief that Solo was going to cost him the match, play some sort of role in this. But fortunately for Jacob Fatu, that was not the case. He won this shit outright, and it was great. It was a solid match. LA Knight also, LA Knight, man, fucking fantastic, bro. I fuck with LA Knight because over the course of the last 3 years, bro, he got himself over. He stayed over. He's put on solid matches, like actual solid fucking matches. The match against Logan Paul at SummerSlam, this match, the match against AJ last year at WrestleMania, the match against Roman Reigns at Crown Jewel, the Fatal 4-Way match at the Royal Rumble, I think the last year. He's put on solid fucking matches, and he's done it as a mid carder. And I'm glad he lost. You know what? You want to know why I'm glad he lost? Because I hope he finally gets his fucking chance at Big Gold next. Because he deserves it. He's been on a fucking run, and fortunately for Jacob Fatu, he did win this match here, and what I thought was a solid one. He won by hitting the Samoan drop from the top rope and then hit two of his moonsaults on LA Knight for the pin. Got a huge pop. The crowd was absolutely ecstatic for Jacob Fatu. From the get-go, he had a sick entrance. He came out wearing a werewolf mask and Solo Sikoa as his hype man. I thought that was also great on behalf of Solo Sikoa. Like, that must be such a dope ass feeling, bro. Imagine going down the ramp of WrestleMania with like your cousin and you just get to hype him up. Like that must be so sick. Jacob was ready for the moment. He captured it. He delivered. So did LA Knight. Probably, honestly, my favorite match of night one besides the main event. But want to hear your thoughts on your boy Jacob Fatu. I know you love him. So how are you feeling about him getting his first belt in the WWE? And what did you think of the match? And what would you like to see from Jacob moving forward? Maybe a potential prediction on who his first opponent may be. We'll see.
First opponent, that's a little rough. Let's get there though. Big win for a boy. I'm glad this is one where we were wrong because we even said it last week. We would love to see Jacob hold gold at on the biggest night of them all, but just didn't think that was possible. Just from the circumstances going on and the story stuff going on, personally with Jacob, we didn't see that happening, and I'm glad that we were wrong about it because he was holding up the belt. It got a huge pop. Again, the fits. LA Knight came down in a fit that we kind of see him in normally, but I feel like it was due to the Slim Jim sponsorship because they even showed off the Slim Jim contest winners or whatever there. So he came down in a fit, but Jacob, man, he's not big on fits. He always just kind of wears his tank top and his pants with his boots and stuff like that. But the mask looked fucking killer on him. He got to come out in a special way on one of the probably the biggest nights. We were saying it all night from Felon to Champ. I mean, this man, what can't he do? He's the future, and I feel we're on the same page. I think that it's good for LA Knight to lose because this potentially moves him up to a bigger picture. We're starting to slowly move in these guys that we now see that were a little greener or a little newer into these mid-card belts and having them run muck there in order to give some of these guys that were in that spot before that were running amok in the mid-card and now are getting pushed up into the bigger title pictures. I do hope that that's the plan that we're going forward here. I would love to see Jacob wrestle some of the younger talent that's been coming up with him. I feel like there's so many people that can match his style or even contradict his style and could give us great matches. So I'm very excited. I don't know who the fuck can be his first his first rivalry. There's so many names that you can even that you can pinpoint. I would like to see him go up against some of the quicker guys, some of the smaller guys, maybe in some luchadors now that we've, acquired a couple more. But one of the guys that I would love to see him up against, maybe this year later on the road is someone like Carmelo. I feel like Carmelo, he deserves, some more spotlight shown on him. This past Friday, he won a big tournament of his own. So I feel like someone like that, anyone that can match that kind of speed style to match or to go against Jacob's aggression, I feel like that would be great. But I would give this match at Mania between Jacob and LA Knight. By the way, LA Knight also fantastic, like you said. He's a company man. He knows what he's doing now. I feel like they are in line to give him bigger opportunities. But yeah, this match, I'm gonna give this match a 4 out of 5. Sadly, LA Knight did not win and retain, but our boy Jacob did come up with gold and shit. Like everyone said, Roman was just setting up his whole family to win. So this is just another win for the bloodline.
No, it's actually crazy. He lost, but his family won, and in turn, he continues to win. It's actually crazy how how uber successful he has been to the point where he's brought up his bloodline, like quite literally the fucking bloodline is insane. Um, but nah, shout out to Jacob Fatu. First opponent, that would be interesting for me. I think Andrade would be a fantastic match, but I just don't want to see him lose again. So I would like to save that. But no, I think Carmelo Hayes would be great as well. But again, another motherfucker I don't want to see lose, especially following the fact that he just won that battle royale. So I want Carmelo to go on a little bit of a winning streak of his own, and then maybe challenge for the belts in a few more months when it's a little bit more believable, and he may have a shot. Because I don't think it's over between Solo and Jacob Fatu. I think we need a conclusion to that, but we might not get conclusions because they don't do that. They don't give conclusions on this goddamn program that we watch. Um, but a match that you were looking forward to, also that doesn't have a conclusion, unfortunately, due to injury. Due to injury, the match originally was scheduled to be Rey Mysterio versus El Grande Americano. That was canceled, and Rey Mysterio was replaced by Rey Phoenix due to a injury that he suffered on Friday Night SmackDown. Listen, I won't name any names, but there was a certain individual in that building on Friday Night SmackDown who's a big luchador fan. And as soon as that motherfucker stepped foot in that building, a luchador went down. I don't know, man. Call him a jinx. I might not, but just wanted to point out the facts. Anyways, we get Rey Phoenix
Disrespectful.
versus El Grande
Disrespectful.
versus El Grande Americano on Saturday nights of WrestleMania. Um, I thought El Grande Americano probably got the best entrance of the night with the filter, with the yellow Mexican filter that we see on all the movies that take place down the border of the United States, south of the border of California. We get that yellow filter, as we all so famously seen and joked about online. I thought that was great. His entrance was fantastic. The match, of course, was a very quick match, an 8-minute match that had to be quick only because it wasn't a planned one. I'm sure if they would have gotten a little bit more time to get some work in between with each other, it would have been a longer bit of a match. But for what they did and what they were able to do within the 8 minutes, I thought it was one of the better matches of the night as well. El Grande Americano, fortunately for us, as I believe it is Chad Gable. I don't know if you're still of the belief that it's not him, but I believe it's Chad Gable. Fortunately for Chad Gable fans, he did win this match. The way he won was he of course snuck in his metal plate into his mask, hit a headbutt, and then hit a top rope headbutt to pin Ray Phoenix, and walked away as the winner of that singles match. But I know this was a match you were looking forward to. How did you feel about, unfortunately, Rey Mysterio having to be replaced due to injury? And did you enjoy his replacement in Ray Phoenix?
Yeah, this was definitely one of the bigger matches that I think both of us were looking forward to. We were there live on SmackDown when Ray suffered his injury, and it looked pretty bad in person. We instantly saw them, kind of usher him away, and there was a medic on hand that instantly just stayed by him even until the match was done, and we even saw him get carried out by them. So we knew by then that it was pretty bad. We knew that they were going to be switching him out, and I mean, what a fucking moment! What an opportunity for Ray Phoenix. Just escaping Guantanamo Bay, barely having even like 2-3 matches inside the company, and you get your Mania moment. I mean, it sucks for Ray, and it sucks for fans like you and me because we definitely did want to see that match. But I mean, you can't. When the opportunity knocks you, you have to answer, and that's exactly what Ray Phoenix did. They did have a quick match, like you said, just because there wasn't really enough time to plan for it. It wasn't even like the Americano match was taking part on Sunday; it was taking part on Saturday, the next night. So they had to scramble, and I think they did the best that they could. Ray Phoenix was an amazing choice for this match. He definitely went out there and fucking killed it. But at the end of the day, Americano came out with the win. Chad, whatever you want to call him. I want to see what happens next. This is not the end for El Americano, and I hope not, especially with the recent acquisition of AAA. We're getting a whole roster of Mexicans coming, and that's a whole lot of people for Americano to be facing. And I would hate for them to stop that momentum now. The first show is just a couple months away. If anything, just keep it around until that show and have him pull the mask that night, maybe the night after. I don't care, but we need to see El Americano on that card. So I love this shit. I'm gonna give this shit 4 out of 5 stars too, even though it was quick. These boys went out there. Americano did some crazy ass fucking move I don't even know the fucking name of, but he like cannonballed onto Ray Phoenix, and Ray Phoenix just took all of that fucking hit. That was fucking crazy. But yeah, this match, I loved it. I love everything they're doing with the storyline. This is probably one of my favorite storylines going on right now, besides the stuff that they have going on with Seth. I want to get your feelings on this. Do you think that the Americans deserve this win? Do you see him popping at the Worlds Collide show on June 7th?
I definitely thought Chad Gable deserved this match, or El Grande Americano deserved to win this match, and I was nervous when it was announced that Rey Mysterio was going to be missing this match, and the replacement was Ray Phoenix, because I didn't believe that they would want Ray Phoenix to lose as soon as he did and take the spin, especially just because he's only been on the roster over the course of 2 to 3 weeks. And I know they love to protect the new guys, and I just thought they were going to go that route there. So I was nervous for Chad. But to my surprise, they decided to give him the win because, again, I think, like you mentioned it, the moment would have been maybe Ray unmasking him or something along those lines. And because Ray wasn't able to do that, they're deciding to save it. And when that moment does happen, I think it'll be big. And blessings come in disguise. You bring up the fact that they had just announced the acquirement of AAA. And so they're making the Worlds Collide pay-per-view on June 7th, same day as the Money in the Bank. And so that'll be a moment and an opportunity for Chad Gable as El Grande Americano to compete. And I think that would be great. I think it would be fantastic. Somehow, some way, at some point, he's gonna have to get unmasked, right? But how we get there, I don't know. But I do think that having him appear at Worlds Collide would be fucking great, and I hope they keep the gimmick going until then. And hopefully, we still haven't gotten any word or any reports on Ray's injury, but hopefully he's all right. No, he's up there in age, so sucks to see, and sucks that we didn't get to see him perform at this year's WrestleMania. But hopefully he recovers well. And we see him out there soon, because we are at some point going to get his retirement match as well. And so I'm looking forward to seeing that, and what we get out of that. And I know you're looking forward and you think it's going to be Penta, but uh no way, Jose. That shit is definitely going to be Dominic Mysterio. um but following that, we get one of the matches that I was so looking forward to, because I wanted to see what would take place in this match here, following just the foul play between the two women, Tiffany Stratton and Charlotte Flair, between or in the buildup of their feud here to this match. We get the WWE Women's Championship match as the second to last match here. Stratton winning. You had Tiffany Stratton winning as well, and she did win. Fortunately for us, it was Tiffy time at WrestleMania 41. This match was about 14 minutes here. Just in my opinion, this match wasn't a good match. Wasn't like a great match, but it was two women just trying to kill each other, and I felt like it came across that way on television. um I'm not saying they were out there really boxing or anything, but I do feel like both of these women had to air some grievances in this match. They did so. I also thought that neither of them really wanted to sell for the other or make the other look as good. So there were like very awkward moments. The timing was a little bit off. And it felt like a rough match, but a match that left Tiffany bruised up. And at the end of the match, it looked like she was missing a tooth. I know we were watching, it was like, yo, she looked like she got her shit chipped. Um, but all in all, just like a brutal fight here. Really did feel like a fight. It didn't feel like a wrestling match. It felt like a fight. But Tiffany did win, which I was happy about. She also had a great entrance. The Barbie box entrance I thought was sick. And shout out to her for executing that well. They had the three Barbie boxes. She came out of the one in the middle. Gear was great. So I'm just happy Tiffany's trying to win here. She deserved it. I thought been a mistake to have Charlotte Flair win here and bury Tiffany. So I'm glad she won. I'm looking forward to seeing who she faces next as the women's champion, WWE Women's Champion, that is. But no, you're a big Charlotte Flair fan. No, you love her, big supporter. You'll never stop loving her, and you'll never stop defending her. So I want to hear your thoughts on this. How do you feel about your girl Charlotte Flair taking the loss here? Have you accepted the fact that she's washed? Have you accepted the fact that she will never win another championship again? And yeah, just what are you looking forward to beyond this match between the two women as well?
Why you gotta be so disrespectful? Why? No, I agree with you. This match it wasn't anything special, and if anything made it special was how hard it was, how hard hitting it was. Charlotte and Tiffy both. I think Charlotte started off first. She was very fucking stiff, And I think that's why, towards the end of the night, we did think she chipped a tooth because of the way that these two women were just hitting each other. And like I said, Charlotte started it, Tiffany continued it, and they went on through the whole match just being stiff as shit and hitting each other extremely hard. And maybe it was just receipts from what happened. Maybe it is, bad blood that's now, boiled over the past couple weeks between these two. But this wasn't at all, the fantastic match that we thought it was going to be. Do I accept that Charlotte's washed? I don't know if I accept that she's washed, but was this a great showing for her? Was this more fuel for the people that think that she's washed? Yeah, of course. Because this wasn't, I was expecting to get a good showing from Charlotte, and I just did not get that. Did I get a good showing from Tiffy? Yeah, I would say so. I feel like she stood on her own against what she was given. But it doesn't matter because at the end of the day, the right decision was made. Tiffy went over Charlotte, and that's what matters. The company needs to learn and needs to focus more on these kind of decisions that actually make sense because this made sense. Now, where does Tiffy go from this? Where does Charlotte go from this? Tiffy, I mean, she'll pop probably on Friday, and someone will pop on her, and we'll see where this is going. I think that this should be done. I don't think that these two should be going after each other anymore. If you want to revisit this kind of feud later on down the road, that's fine. But for now, I feel like we've had enough of these two together. Let's get them away from each other. So for Charlotte, what do we do with Charlotte? I don't know. I said this when she returned. I feel like she should, step away from the title picture and just go up against all the new females that have joined the company ever since her absence. I feel like that's a better. Not only are you gonna, of course, put them over some younger talent, but you're also going to get some big wins from some of these females that are real threats now in the company, that are new, that you haven't wrestled. So I do want to see her, kind of like step away from the title picture, go off, have some newer matches that we haven't seen her in. And Tiffy, well, she's got the belt. You can, skyrocket her to the top, and that's exactly what we want to see. The fans are behind her. It seems like merch sales are behind her. So if you're gonna do it for Jay, shit, fucking do it for Tiffy too. Let's see more Tiffy. Let's see her, defend the belt a lot more. She hasn't disappointed me yet, and I'm very excited to see what her career brings in the near future.
It's Tiffy time. I wonder who she's gonna be facing at after this. I am curious to see. I have no clue. There's no way they send out a Zelina Vega, not to face
That's
Tiffany
fucked up.
Stratton. Um, it's not fucked up. It's just the truth. Um, so curious to see who's gonna pop on her on Friday. But shout out to Tiffany. I'm glad it was Tiffy time at WrestleMania. Um, but it's finally time to talk about the main event of WrestleMania Night One. By far, by far, by fucking far, the better main event of the two nights. Definitely a fantastic outcome. One that I told you. I fucking told you. I said it on the podcast 2 weeks ago or a week ago, a couple weeks ago. I said, "Listen, this was gonna happen. Seth's gonna line up with Paul. Cause Paul not gonna be able to pick one or the other. He gonna pick neither. He gonna set himself up with Seth. Seth gonna get strapped to the moon, and we chilling." And that's exactly what happened to a T. And it was great. It was great. And listen, I would like to be the first to apologize because I was being disrespectful. I was being extremely disrespectful. And it wasn't until after the bullshit I saw on Sunday that I realized that, you know what? I'm wrong. CM Punk, man, hats off to that man. That man has some fucking integrity. And since he's been back, great feuds, great matches, and I was just being a hater. I just wanted my boy Seth to win, and I was just being a fucking hater. And I'm appreciative much more of a CM Punk after what I just saw on Sunday, because there are motherfuckers around his age that can't do the shit that he's able to do at his age. So shout out to CM Punk, motherfucker with integrity. But integrity isn't enough to win a fucking wrestling match. And you picked them, and I picked Seth, and I was right. And I'm glad I was fucking right. But this match was a 25-minute match, absolute banger. Absolute banger. This triple threat, at no point were you not standing on your feet, were you not on your toes, were you not on the screen waiting to see who's gonna win. We had Seth taking fucking curb stomps from CM Punk. We had Roman Reigns taking multiple GTSs. We had Roman Reigns putting CM Punk and Seth Rollins through the announce tables, the Spanish announce table and the regular announce table, both destroyed. They were out here just having a fucking field day. There was a point where Roman jumped over the barricade and hit like a flying spear on CM Punk and Seth Rollins in the middle of the crowd. It was fucking crazy. Just the absolute barn burner of a match. I'm glad I got this match to talk about, to be excited about, if anything, if fucking anything from the weekend. I'm glad I got to see this match on television. Um, Absolutely fantastic. And the way it ended, oh, so beautifully, so perfectly. And you know what? I even called that to a T. I said, what's gonna happen? He's gonna get a fucking chair. He's gonna not be able to decide between one or the other. I got it wrong. I got it wrong. I said he was gonna throw it in the middle. But this asshole threw it to CM Punk. And he threw the chair to CM Punk. Roman and Punk were staring at each other, and Roman couldn't believe that Heyman had just betrayed him. He just picked Punk over Roman, his tribal chief. And CM Punk smiled, got the chair ready to attack Roman with the chair in hand. But behind him was Paul Heyman. He dropped to his knees and he just gave the biggest nut shot to CM Punk. And the CM Punk fell to the ground. Roman smiled. He couldn't believe what he just saw. His wise man was playing CM Punk the whole time. And then Paul Heyman tells Roman, get up, look at who's on the floor. Seth Rollins is laying down on the floor. He said, get him, my tribal chief, get him. Seth Rollins gets up. He's climbing using the ropes. Romans has a chair in hand. He tells Paul Heyman to back up. He says, step behind me, Paul. I'm going to fuck this guy up. And Paul Heyman gets behind Roman, and the crowd notices. The crowd perfectly noticed. And they started to cheer. They started to say, oh. And that's when Paul Heyman's smile turned into an evil grin. He dropped down and he just fucking had a field day hitting Romans in the nuts. He not only did he uppercut him in the nuts, he rubbed the nuts. He was going crazy. He made sure he was getting in everything. I don't know what Roman did to this man, but he wanted to make sure that Roman was going to be in pain for the next couple of hours, because he didn't just punch him in the nuts. That motherfucker was out here hitting combos. It was crazy. Roman Reigns fell to the ground. The crowd couldn't believe what they just saw, but it was so great that they cheered. It was like, oh shit, it really happened. Paul turned his back on CM Punk and Roman Reigns at the same time, and Seth had just gotten up. He didn't even turn his back. He didn't even see what happened. He knew. He was watching the Jumbotron, just seeing it all fall down. He then extended his hand out. Paul Heyman grabbed the steel chair, passed it over to CM Punk. CM Punk hit Roman Reigns a few times with the steel chair, kicked CM Punk out the ring. Sorry, he passed the shit to Seth Rollins. Seth Rollins hit Roman Reigns with the steel chair a few times, kicked CM Punk out the ring. Then he set up the chair under Roman's head for a curb stomp, hitting him there and then getting the win. And that is how we ended night one of WrestleMania, with Seth freaking Rollins standing tall with Paul Heyman. I was so happy. I am so excited to see what we get from these two moving forward. I cannot wait. What were your thoughts on this match here? The ending with Paul Heyman turning on both of his tribal chief and his best friend. And how are you feeling about the Seth Rollins and Paul Heyman alliance now?
This match was fucking fantastic, and like you said, you called it almost straight to a T. Everything you said last week pretty much came true, and I'm happy for it, because apart from the Americano story, I think this is some of the best shit that they have going on. You know, I do love the John Cena stuff that's going on, but that needs work. What doesn't need work is what's going on in this storyline. Even what happened on Monday, it kind of seems like they have at least some kind of grip on this story, and I'm happy for that. This was probably my favorite match, if not just the night of the weekend, because It was a great match, and the 10 minutes where everything at the end kind of culminated made sense, and it didn't completely screw over the story going forward. From the OTC, kind of teasing the big Shield moment between him and Seth, teaming up on Punk, and then Rollins, not going, or Roman not going for it, and that beginning the whole turmoil going into the ring, and then you have Paul Heyman's dick punches, and inevitably, him teaming up with Seth. All of it perfectly executed. I couldn't have been happier. It shocked me in the moment, even though we had talked about it. We even that morning we had said, "You're wrong," like this is how it's gonna happen. Seth's gonna win. Wise Man's gonna line with them. Even in that morning, I was like, "Nah, bro, it's not gonna happen." I'm glad it did, because what they have planned for this, or at least what it seems like they have planned for this, looks fucking great. And Seth was one of those people, kind of like a McIntyre, kind of like a Finn, that just wasn't winning as much as he should. And I feel like strapping him with Paul is going to give him those victories. Even if they're small outside of ring victories, he's still going to get those small victories in his career now. And it's exciting stuff, Again, Roman, still one of the biggest players, not even in the main in a main storyline. He doesn't even know. We don't even know where he's going from here. Whether that's going to be continuing with Seth, continuing with Punk, or just going off and doing something else. We don't know, and that's kind of exciting shit. Punk too. Like, what's gonna happen with Punk? Is he gonna continue feuding with Seth? Is he gonna go after fucking Roman for what happened? I don't know. Like, it's just exciting stuff. But the right decision was made here tonight. Luckily, I was fucking wrong about it, and yeah, I would say out of 5 stars, I'm gonna give this my first 5 stars. I thoroughly enjoyed this. I enjoyed the moment at the end, and this was a perfect ending to night 1 of WrestleMania.
5 stars. This shit deserved 10 stars the way this shit ended, man. I thought that shit was fantastic. I'm just happy to see what the fuck is gonna come from this alliance. And jumping into it, Monday Night Raw, we get the Raw after Mania. They're closing the show. Seth Rollins and Paul Heyman are the basically the main event. They get the final segment, of course. Seth and Paul both have a mic in hand. Paul Heyman just lets the crowd know that this man, Seth Rollins, is the undisputed next number one star in all of WWE. And then, of course, CM Punk's music plays because he has something to say. Not really. He just want to beat somebody's ass for what just happened to him the 2 nights ago. So CM Punk calmly walks his way down the ramp while his music plays. He's wrapping his wrist and fist up in tape because he's about to throw some punches. He gets into the ring. Him and Seth Rollins start to go at it. And he gets the jump on Seth, turns his attention to Paul Heyman. He gets in his face, but that's when Seth was able to attack him from behind, get the advantage. And just when we thought he was done beating up CM Punk, that is when Roman Reigns makes his appearance as well. He calmly walks down to the ring, and him and Seth start to exchange a few punches. Roman runs the ropes, hits the spear, and Paul is in disbelief. He's like, "This motherfucker just took out my new guy with one spear in 20 seconds." And so we're like, "What's about to happen?" Roman then hits a Superman punch on Paul. We're like, "Oh shit. Oh shit." And at this point I'm smiling. I haven't smiled in fucking 48 hours, but I'm smiling at this point because I'm like, "All right, we got some. We got some." And I'm smiling watching this shit. And then Roman Reigns charges up his spear. He hits the ooh ah, and we're all the camera's perfectly focused in on Roman, zoomed in on Roman's face. So all we see is him do the ooh ah. Then he runs up, goes for the spear, but before he goes for the spear, he's met by someone. He's met by Braun Breaker, who just hit this motherfucker with a spear from out of nowhere. Yo, now Braun Breaker's here to save the day. Seth rolls into the ring. He stares at Braun. Braun stares at him. They smile. These motherfuckers are working together. Oh shit. Now it's Paul Heyman, Braun Breaker, and Seth Rollins. Sick shit. Braun then runs around. He sees Roman Reigns that rolls out the ring. Roman is by the barricade. Braun looks at him. He decides that he's gonna run the entire ring, runs the ring on the outside, then hits Roman Reigns with another spear through the barricade, and he's out cold. Roman is done. He's dead. Braun heads back into the ring. Seth and Paul and Braun now stand tall together, and that's how the show closes out. That's how that's how the Raw after Mania was concluded. I thought that was great. I they're gonna add somebody else. They're bound to add
100%.
somebody else. But I just want to get your thoughts on Braun Breaker here now aligning himself with Seth Rollins and Paul Heyman. How excited are you, or are you even excited about this pairing? And what were your first initial thoughts when you saw who had just speared Roman Reigns when that show was over?
I mean, I think both of us agreed before that, you know, Braun is destined for bigger things. The IC belt, seeing him with it was nice, but it's too small of a belt. Not to be disrespectful, too small of a belt for him. You know, he's destined for bigger things, and if this is the stepping stone to get him there, I'm all for it. I completely love this. Like I said, if there's two storylines that I love right now in the WWE, it's the Marcano stuff and this. Why? Because this presents itself to so many opportunities, you know. And shouts out to our one of our day one listeners, my boy Mark, aka Boyo. He pointed out this morning when we were going over stuff. He said we're seeing kind of like a new iteration of evolution. You know, you have the legacy in Paul Heyman, you have the top guy in Seth Rollins, you have the muscle in Braun Breaker. All you need is that legend killer kind of, you know, figure, this new kid that, you know, maybe not everybody is fully behind, but you see something in him. And who better to pick that person than a Paul Heyman, who is just, you know, he has that eye for catching talent. So I have high expectations for this faction. I have high expectations for what they're going to do. I am also under the believance that we're still going to get another member to this, and I can't wait to see who it is. Like I said, I really do hope it's someone that's maybe a little less known with a lot of fucking talent, because if this is per se, you know, Evolution 2.0, I'm all for it. I loved Evolution back in the day, and if that's what we're trying to do here, let's fucking do it. Who better to fucking get this shit started than Paul Heyman and Seth Rollins? You know, two people that are just known for kicking up shit in the business. So I'm very excited. This got me going just like it did you. I was already smiling, but this got me smiling a lot more. This ending was just
I
phenomenal.
wasn't. I wasn't fucking smiling at all, but this shit made me crack a little bit of smile, and I had a just an ounce of hope, because of course Paul had something to do with it, and I did. I think Triple H here as well. I think when you allow the motherfuckers to do what they plan to do, some good shit happens, and when you don't fucking just come up with some dumbass ideas and try to interject yourself in shit that ain't got nothing to do with you, then we get stupid ass shit like the shit that happened on Sunday. But anyways, back to the fucking point. I'm happy that Braun Breaker's here. It sucked to see him lose his IC title on Sunday. But you know, he did what he needed to do, and he's now in the main event picture, clearly, now that he's aligned with Seth and Paul Heyman. I think we're gonna get a Seth Rollins and Braun Breaker versus Roman Reigns and CM Punk match at Backlash. That's just what I think. Wouldn't be surprised. I think that's gonna be great. Um, nah, this is good shit. This good shit. I'm interested. I might stick around. If they don't fuck this up, I might stick around. But in terms of who they're gonna pick in that last spot, I don't know. I don't know. I'm curious to see who they got. There's a few interesting names. You know, people are throwing out the name Ethan Page. I know you're not the biggest fan. People are throwing out Carmelo Hayes. But I'm curious. I'm curious to see who they select here to add to this faction. We're just gonna have to wait and see. We're gonna have to tune in. I'm sure that won't happen until like a backlash when it seems like they're just about to lose. Paul Heyman always has a master plan, and I think he'll have someone there to aid his boys Seth and Braun Breaker. But what's interesting about all this? What's interesting about the main event of WrestleMania Night One, as well as this new faction that's being implemented, is just the fact that Paul Heyman is no longer standing alongside Roman Reigns. He's no longer the wise man. Roman Reigns is completely alone, no family, no bloodline, no wise man. It is just him as the tribal chief. And I'm curious to see what comes of that, where we go from here, because it just seemed like it was yesterday, WrestleMania 39, when Roman had just beat Cody Rhodes for his title. And Paul Heyman was telling us we were in the third inning. Is this the ninth inning? I guess so. I guess so. I guess that game is over. But what a run it was with Paul Heyman and Roman Reigns. I would like to take a moment of silence for the relationship of those two individuals. Um, may that relationship and the bloodline rest in peace. Moving on to night two of WrestleMania on Sunday, April 20th, 420, a holiday for some and a holiday across the world, as it was also Easter. Um, so big day, night two, had a great card on file here that I was very much looking forward to. So much so, I decided to buy a fucking ticket to go watch this shit. To my fucking surprise, I'd be left in goddamn disappointment by the end of the night. But it didn't start off that way. It actually started off pretty fucking great because the first match of this night two of WrestleMania was a triple threat match between for the Women's World Championship between Io Sky, Bianca Belair, and Rhea Ripley. And in that order, in that fucking order. And this is my only gripe with this goddamn match. This is my only gripe with this match. The champion was the first to make the entrance. I don't understand why we're doing this. I don't understand why the champion isn't the last to come out. Followed by Bianca Belair, followed by Rhea Ripley. Whatever. Whatever. I just had to make note of that. But fucking fantastic match. A great way to start the show. An absolutely great way to start the show. In my opinion, I thought night one was lackluster up until the main event. And for them to just switch the shit up and from the beginning say, I'm going to come out here and put on a fucking masterclass of a match between these three women, absolutely fantastic. At no point was anyone seated. It was intense from the beginning. We had Io Sky hitting all of the aerial moves that she of course has, the over the moonsault, jumping from the top rope onto the outside for the both for to the two women. Bianca was getting in her offense, KODs here and there. Rhea was looking strong, and it just was seamless. All three women just fit so perfectly. Their chemistry was fantastic. Just a great fucking match. A great fucking match. And a fantastic start. And both of us had Io Sky winning here. But we were both nervous because we knew who was on the opposite side of Io. Two megastars in Rhea Ripley and Bianca Belair. But Io stood tall. She was the winner. She hit the over the moonsault on Bianca Belair right after Belair had just hit Rhea Ripley with her KOD. And we thought that Bianca was going to be the champion because that KOD looked clean. But out of nowhere, here comes Io Sky with the over the moonsault on both of them. She pinned Bianca and wins the match to retain her Women's World Championship. And the crowd went nuts. The crowd went absolutely apeshit. It was such a great moment. It was such a great way to start the show. Oh, had I known, they should have just ended this fucking. This should have been the main event. This should have been the fucking main event because this was amazing. But I loved it. I don't know if you loved it. Want to hear your thoughts on this match? I know you're a big fan of Io Sky. You must have been so happy once the bell rang and she was still our champion. I know I was excited. I was a little surprised, but I was excited. I'm glad that she won, and I'm looking forward to seeing who she faces next for her belt in the next defense. But what did you think of the opening match here for night two?
I loved it. Like you said, I'm a big Io Sky fan, and I thought the right decision was made here. You know, she's been busting her ass. I'm gonna sound like a broken record at this point, but she's been busting her ass. She's been, kind of this face of the company for, overseas kind of things. Like she is that wrestler that a Triple H likes to go to for any time they need someone that they know can deliver. And just seeing her walk away with this, seeing her, get that big moment, that celebration with their parents in the crowd during Mania, I bet she was over the moon. I was over the moon. Like you said, this was a great start to the night. Would we have known how it was gonna end? Shit, I'm with you. I feel like this would have been a better main event, but we got what we got. This definitely was a better kickoff to day two than the Jay Gunther for night one. I think these ladies went out there and killed it. They killed it in their entrances. Each of them had special attire. Rhea had special attire. She even had like a custom crown made. Bianca Belair came out. She was actually accompanied at the top of the stage by her stepdaughter, and she was in this really cool, just gold and roses type of gear. And then Io Sky, she always has that Japanese kind of over the top style with her fits during these bigger events. So they all killed it with their entrances, and they killed it in the ring. Right decision was made though. Our girl stood tall with that belt held up high. What's next for her? Who knows? We saw her, last night, and she got interrupted, so I'm guessing that that's maybe somewhere where we'll go to it. But I'm interested to see how long Io holds this belt and how far she can go with it, because she's definitely someone deserving of holding that belt for a hot minute.
Yeah, no, she's great. I just hats off to them. Applause, round of applause for Io Sky, Bianca Belair, and Rhea Ripley for the masterclass performance that they put on. And the Rhea Ripley gear that she had on, it was the Batman Who Laughs, I think it was inspired by. So really did enjoy that there. But all in all, this was a fantastic match. And glad it got the decision that we were both looking for. Moving on to the second match of night two, one that I was nervous about. One that I was nervous about because there needed to be a decision made, and that decision needed to be the right one. And up until here, I guess Triple H was still making the decisions because in this match, they made the right one. Sin City Street Fight between Damian Priest and Drew McIntyre. You had Damian Priest winning, which I think absolutely crazy. Absolutely crazy. I had Drew McIntyre winning, and I'm happy. I'm happy. I'm happy. I'm happy to announce that Drew McIntyre did win this match. It was a 15-minute match. Big spots. We got I believe it was a power bomb through those two tables onto the outside that Drew McIntyre hit on Damian Priest. Um, a couple steel step hits. Just a big spot match, nothing too crazy. The game about 15 minutes. But the way it ended, McIntyre delivered a Claymore kick through a steel chair, and then he pinned Priest for the win there. So it was a solid street fight. I would have loved to see a little bit more action on the outside, maybe go into the crowd a little bit. I think that would have been fun. But all in all I am happy about is that Drew McIntyre won this match. He won it in a fashion that makes him look stronger than ever. And I'm looking forward to seeing what we do, where we go from here. You know, prior to Drew McIntyre going on to this course and into this feud with Damian Priest, he was doing the whole bloodline killer thing. I would love Drew McIntyre to go on and face Jey Uso. Say, hey, motherfucker, all those times you and your little dumbass family cost me the goddamn championship belt. Well, bitch, now it's my time. Now it's my time for my rematch. I'm coming to get my shit. I think that'd be great. Immediately, it puts the belt on Drew McIntyre because in no way, shape, or form, any, in any world, any universe, any galaxy that is out there in any of those different dimensions, does a Jay Yeet Uso beat a Drew McIntyre. So I would love to see
Are
that
you
take
sure about
place.
that?
Yes, I am. But I will absolutely love to see that. Want to get your thoughts on this match here? What were your thoughts on the Sin City Street Fight, and how did you feel about your favorite Puerto Rican going down here, and
my
not
fa-
walking away with it, not walking away with the win?
my favorite Puerto Rican. I just thought that the way that they were presenting Priest, they were going to give him the win. And with the track record that McIntyre had, I mean, was I wrong to think that maybe WWE was going to give him a loss? No, because it just makes sense. I'm glad that they did it. I'm glad that finally our boy is on top and he finally got a win, especially a big win at Mania in front of a crowd, because the last time, I want to say the last time he won at Mania wasn't in front of a crowd. So getting this big moment for him, actually, no, he won the belt and then lost it. I just keep forgetting because fucking that shit happened. But, anyways, um, he finally got that win. We've been asking for this big win for McIntyre, and he just finally got in this match. Am I a fan of this match? Not really, not necessarily, but it's for the same reasons I said last week. I'm so sick and tired of anywhere Damien goes, it's insert, city name, street fight. Like, do you just love street fights that much that every big match you have, you want it to be a street fight, or is this something that they're just doing to you? Because if they're doing this to you, tell them to fucking stop. It's kind of annoying at this point that anytime I associate Damian Priest, it has to be with a goddamn street fight. Damien versus fucking Bad Bunny, street fight. McIntyre versus fucking Priest, street fight. Like, when do the street fights fucking end with you, bro? Show us, because we know that you're a solid wrestler. Even your biggest hater can say you're all right in the ring, it's just your character fucking sucks. So why don't you just show us more of that in the ring? Why are you not pushing to be shown as a proper wrestler in the ring? That's my problem with fucking Priest. But again, none of that mattered because our boy finally fucking got that win. He even fucking knocked the win so hard at fucking Priest that Priest collapsed going towards the back. I don't know if that was a work or not, but he played it off pretty well. He totally he was like, I can't breathe, and collapsed, a little bit further down the road when he was walking through the crowd. So McIntyre finally gets this fucking big win. Priest fucking finally goes down in his specialty match per se. What happens next? I don't know. I love your idea of him going just straight after Jay and getting his revenge, because I don't really know where McIntyre goes after this. Drew kind of made sense because they had something between them before, but now this kind of just opens up both of them, really. So it'll be interesting to see where they go. Just please don't just give them a break for 2 months and then put them back against each other. I don't need to see Priest versus McIntyre for like at least another season, if not a season, another year or two, because we've seen that shit enough. Let them get away from each other, let them grow before we put them inevitably back in there, because if we don't, we're just gonna get the same stupid match, and I don't want to see that anymore. Overall, I would say I'd give this match a 3 out of 5 stars. It wasn't horrible. It kept me entertainment at times, but overall, it wasn't anything I'm going to be talking about when we, talk about manias of the past.
I can agree with that sentiment. They're definitely not one that we're going to be talking about in about a week or so, but solid match. I'm just glad Drew McIntyre walked away with the victory because it is well deserved. But I'm curious to see where Damian Priest goes from here as well. Like, how does he bounce back from this? What is the promo like on Friday night? I want to see a character change. Make me care, bro. Make me give a fuck, bro. Cut that goddamn hair off too while we're at it. Make me give a fuck. And just switch up the character, because you're still the same dude that was in the Judgment Day. You just don't have them with you. That's what it is. So I just want to see a switch up of a character. Add a little bit of mystique or interest into his persona on TV. But it is what it is. I'm glad Drew McIntyre walked away. I hope he gets propelled into the World Heavyweight Championship picture immediately on fucking prime shipping. Need that shit ASAP. But going into a match, third match of the night, that was a championship match, one that I was looking forward to, one that you were looking forward to, because you got a motherfucker on that side of the goddamn fence. Whoa, I didn't even really mean anything by that,
Whoa.
but that was a perfect use of words there. But the Intercontinental Championship, Fatal 4-Way, Braun Breaker versus Penta versus Dominic Mysterio versus Finn Balor. I had Dominic Mysterio winning this shit. You had Penta. You had your boy El Cerro Miedo winning this shit. And as Dominic likes to use that term, it's not Cero Miedo, it is Bien Pendejo. And that's what Penta and you look like on Sunday because my boy Dominic Mysterio walked away with the W after hitting a frog splash on Finn Balor. Finn Balor had just hit a coup de grace on Braun Breaker, and we thought, oh shit, maybe Finn is gonna win it here. He might actually win. But of course, Dominic Mysterio, a little sneaky ass, climbed up to the top rope, hit a frog splash on Finn Balor for the win, and he won the match, and he walked away as the intercontinental champion. And the best part about this is when he won the match, the crowd erupted, the crowd went nuts. I was in the building. I think it was the loudest pop of the night. It might have even been louder than the John Cena pop, and it was so great to see. Such a great moment for Dom. And the best part about it was he raises the belt, he climbs to the corner, he's done celebrating, he's like, you know what, that's it. They're calling him back upstage. Say, hey, we gotta move on. We got the John Cena match that we need an hour for to cook us some bullshit. So please hurry up the ramp. And then he's running up the ramp, but he hears and he feels the fans cheering. They haven't stopped. They're only getting louder. So he says, "Fuck it, I'm running back into the ring." He runs back into the ring. To everyone's surprise, and it's so funny because he's running past Finn Balor. Finn Balor's like, "What the fuck is this guy doing?" Dom runs back into the ring. He goes up to the corner. He raises his butt again, and Vegas goes nuts all over. And so, no, just absolutely fantastic, absolutely fantastic. And the best part about it was that Penta lost. You know who else lost this
You're
weekend?
such a fucking
Ray,
mess.
Ray, Ray Phoenix. And you know what happens when motherfuckers lose? They got to start figuring out why they're losing and start teaming up to figure out why the fuck they just lost. Because if they can't win individually, they can win together. So I cannot wait until they put this tag team together. Maybe this Friday. Maybe it takes
I'm gonna
place this
mute this
Friday. Who knows?
disrespect. I'm gonna mute this
We
disrespect.
we will see. But I do think it's going to be sooner rather than later. But how did you feel watching this match here? I know you wanted your boy Penta to win. Unfortunately for you and him, that wasn't the case. But yeah, what were your thoughts on this fatal four-way match? Did you enjoy it? What did you think of Dom winning? And just him soaking up the moment and him getting his WrestleMania moment after the short career that he's had so far in the WWE.
Well, I guess to begin, from me and Penta personally, I would feel he's okay for me to represent him in this part. I'm gonna say me la pelas puto, okay, because he did a phenomenal job this weekend. He and his brother, despite them losing, did a phenomenal job. And yes, I did have Penta winning this. As a fan, I had Penta winning this, but you and me know that at the end of the day, we kind of knew that Dom was gonna take this. I mean, the man has been on a heater. He's been probably one of the best heels that they've had over the past year and a half. So it was only deserving of him to finally get this big win. And what a bigger stage than not only in his home of Vegas, his current home of Vegas, but at a WrestleMania, you know? Especially after the tragic news that his father went out. Now he gets to, shine as the only Mysterio on this card. So I'm happy for him. I think that this is just going to be even bigger things for him. We've been talking his praises for the longest time, and it's finally, you know, I'm glad that we're seeing it pay off. You know, they're starting to see what we see, and that crowd showed it that night. You know, they want Dom. Despite him being heel, if they want to boo him, they're going to boo him. But when it's time to cheer him, they're going to cheer him because he is that guy, you know? It's been thrown around a lot, you know, these past couple months, and especially this weekend of, you know, Dom being the best Mysterio. And I gotta say, he's making a fucking very good case for himself. I don't want to disrespect the legacy that Ray has, you know, left us with, but he's making a compelling case. He's just gotten started, and now he's getting the endorsements of like a John Cena, of a Randy Orton. Like, this kid is the real deal, and we need to, not us, we see it, but you know, the general fans, the company needs to start seeing this, and I'm glad they kind of are starting to see this, because crowning him at Mania was that moment. Like you said, that crowd would not shut up so much that he had to run the fuck back to get his moment. And I'm all for that shit. Fuck. If that was the fucking, if he would have took another extra 15 minutes to fill in the shit that fucking Cena didn't fill out at the end, I would have been fine with that. Give me fucking 20 minutes of fucking celebrating Dom. He deserves that shit. He's been putting in the work. He's been there. He's fucking been in the ring. He's been in matches he probably didn't fucking want to be in, but he was there to fucking do it, and that's why it's being paid off now. And he's our IC champ. I hope he keeps this for a while. Just like his father, just like his fake father before him, they're gonna hold those belts well, and they're gonna bring some prestige to it. So I'm very excited to see what he does. Overall, I'd say I'd give this match shit. This might no, I'm gonna give this match a 4. I was gonna give this match a 5 because I feel like everybody in this match did phenomenal, but I would say that the match from night one was still, my 5-star match. So this has to be close. This will get like a 4.5. I thought this phenomenal. Dom is now our champ. I'm pretty sure Wingstop's fucking happy about that shit. We'll probably get a Wingstop meal sometime soon. But what were your thoughts? You were in the fucking building. You already said it. You heard that fucking crowd. But what was it feel? What was the feeling being there? Finally seeing Dom get his crowning achievement.
No, the crowd loved it. Vegas went absolutely apeshit. Like I'm telling you, I think they went crazier for him than John Cena. I might be tripping. I might just be being a hater, but I think like the moment itself was so grand. It was just like he's a heel. He's a heel, and for him to go from being booed out of the building, like being unable to get a word off because he's being booed, to uh to just building equity with the fans, because that is what he did. He built equity with the fans, and they started by just loving to hate him. um and it was just fucking over the course of the last 2 years. He's just been a part of great stories. The whole Liv Morgan turning on Rhea Ripley thing, like he's just been a workhorse. um on television every fucking Monday. Like, how as a fan could I not enjoy and appreciate the character that is Dominic Mysterio when I'm tuning in every week and he's there making me laugh, just having funny segments, just being a absolute star in the show and in what he is, and playing his role to a T. Like a six man on a basketball team. Just sometimes you just need that six man to be better than some starters, and that's what the fuck he's doing. So I don't know. I really loved it. The fans loved it. It was incredible to be in the building. Like him running back into the ring, like understanding the moment, high level IQ. That motherfucker said, you know what? I don't care. I'm gonna soak this all in. We're gonna get a bigger pop, and it happened. And no, I think it was great for everyone who was in there. And he's from San Diego, so the people loved him. I said it too. I said he's going to Vegas. The people love him down there in Vegas, and they sure did. So no, I'm glad he got his moment. You said some little disrespectful earlier. You said he might be the greatest Mysterio already, or like, coming up on it. Like, I don't need you to relax a little bit. Like, let's not be
Hey,
disrespectful.
that
Rey
didn't come.
Mysterio is
Listen, that didn't
nice.
come out of my mouth first. That came out of your goat's mouth first on the Pat McAfee show. Okay, so hey, let's chill it back on me. I'm just repeating what your goat said.
Are you saying my goat like he's not your goat? Like we're stuck in the same boat. But nah, listen, great shit. He's fantastic, and I cannot wait for him to have his mask versus hair match against his father for his retirement. He's gonna take that mask off, and I and it's
And it'll
gonna be
cement
that's
him
gonna
as the
get some real
greatest Mysterio.
that's gonna get some real heat. That's gonna get some serious heat. Imagine the day that Dominic Mysterio unmasks his father during his retirement match. See, that is an ending. That is a fucking sensible ending. My fucking goodness. But moving beyond this match here, the Randy Orton match. We get the Randy Orton mystery opponent match. I had no fucking clue who was coming out. You said Aleister Black, Rusev. I'm sitting there. I'm in the stadium. I'm like, all right, Randy's out. He does a little shtick, comes out, hits his poses. All right, we cool. Who's it gonna be? Is it gonna be Rusev? Maybe. Is it gonna be Nick Aldis? Maybe. Nah. That shit was Joe Hendry. I went from fucking curiosity to and believe me when I say curiosity killed the fucking cat. Because when I heard the song play, I said, "Really, really, this is who we're gonna get, Joe Hendry? All right, fuck it." Um, but we got a super quick match and a great surprise. Listen, great surprises. I guess I'm still unfamiliar with this game because the way he got a pop in that building was crazy. It's just insane. But I guess I'm unfamiliar with this game. Joe Hendry comes out. They have a quick 7-minute match. Very, very quick. I wouldn't say it was a squash match because it was not. But Randy Orton hits Joe Hendry with an RKO. He was about to hit his little pose that he does, his little charge up the turn around into the camera, and then that's when Randy Orton out of nowhere hit an RKO, went for the pin, got the pin, match was over. Following the match, Randy Orton stayed in the middle of the ring while Joe Hendry laid on the floor. He was recovering. Randy picked him up. He told him, good job, or whatever. And as he was walking away, Joe Hendry again was in the middle of the ring. Randy Orton wasn't done. Hit him with a second RKO, and then he hit the Joe Hendry pose into his own pose, which I thought was hilarious. But all in all, a very quick match, and it was really not about the match. It was more so about the surprise that we got here. So I know you're a big fan of Joe Hendry. I know you love watching him on TV. What were your thoughts on him being the surprise guest here? Were you expecting that at all? And what was that instant reaction that you had when you saw your boy show up on WrestleMania?
I mean, I believe in Joe Hendry. I find the gimmick funny. I find the amount of fan appraisal that he's gotten funny. We were watching Hills Have Eyes earlier, which is the West Side Gun promotion. They had an event here in Vegas. He ended up showing, and disrespectfully, someone in the commentator said, "I've enjoyed his mediocre rise to success," and I kind of, even though it's disrespectful, I gotta kind of agree. He wasn't a huge star or this guy that was making waves in the indies or anything. He got a gimmick that people can really get behind, and he made it work. So going into this match with Randy, where we didn't know who his opponent was going to be, I'm kind of disappointed that I didn't even think of Joe Hendry, because this fit the bill for everything that I said needed to be filled in for this match last week. And that was, either we're going to give this opportunity to someone like a Ray Phoenix who's new and can just use the Mania moment, or we're going to feed Randy someone that, people don't necessarily care within this company. And it'll be a kind of a quick squash match. And that kind of really what it was. A great moment for Joe Hendry, another seizing the opportunity as it's given to you, just kind of like Phoenix did, with Rey Mysterio going down. Joe Hendry got the call, answered, and he got himself a Mania moment, probably when he didn't expect himself to get a Mania moment this year. And who better than Randy Orton? He can say now that he's been in the ring with Randy Orton, even if it was for a silly match like this. Both of these guys went out there and they knocked it out the park, even if it was a small match. All the big moves were hit. Randy stood tall at the end of the night, but it was still that big moment for Joe. So I don't really count this as a loss for Joe. If anything, this is a big step forward for things in his future. I did find it very, very comical for Randy Orton to, hit his pose, or Joe Hendry's pose at the end. That's probably one of my highlights of the weekend, was just that little segment, because I like seeing that Randy still can put himself in these positions where he can still have fun. He can still be silly. He went into this Mania not knowing who his opponent was and being very aggressive about it, but once he saw who it was and what the situation was presenting itself, I feel like he loosened up and he allowed himself to have a lot of fun. And I love seeing that. I love seeing that he can still, not take everything too seriously, and that he's there to really just, bolster up the product, instead of, being negative and saying, "Oh, I don't want that match. Who the fuck wants to wrestle Joe Hendry?" He took it. They did a phenomenal job. Out of 5 stars, I gotta give this shit a 3, just because, it really wasn't much. It was very quick, but it was a fun moment. If anything is missing from these two, I would say maybe 2 recent Manias is we haven't had too many of those wacky segments on the big show. And I'm someone that is very happy about that because I don't think that we have any space, especially with the roster that we have now, for these segments where they're like very comical on a big show like WrestleMania. They used to love doing this shit. They used to love bringing, celebrities to do shit. I'm glad that we've moved away from this and that the wackiness that we now are incorporating in the show are matches like this. We said it last week. It was too short of a call to plan anything big for Randy. The big plan was KO, and unfortunately, that fell through. So what they did was they just had fun with it, and I'm glad that they did because this was a pretty cool Mania spot. Even if it wasn't the match that we all wanted or expected from Randy, it was still a great kind of in the middle fun spot for the fans to enjoy.
Definitely an enjoyable moment and one that went viral. No one was expecting it. I didn't see anybody taking a guess that it was going to be Joe Hendry, so you shouldn't feel any which way about it either. Definitely a surprise. And I think you like you said, like no one was a loser in this situation, even though Joe Hendry took the L. I think it's gonna do wonders for him and put him on the WrestleMania stage. And Randy gave him a match. Like it wasn't a squash match. He just didn't get in the bell ring and he got hit with an RKO. No, he got a match. Yet was it a short match? Yes, but he got some offense in too. So I think it makes him look solid and there's a partnership there between TNA and the WWE. So I'm sure this isn't the last appearance we see of Joe Hendry. We've seen him at the Royal Rumble, and now we've seen him here at WrestleMania. You mentioned John Cena making comments on Pat McAfee. He also made a comment about Joe Hendry, saying that he believes he's going to make it big as well. We'll have to wait and see. We will have to wait and see. Want to touch on Randy Orton a little bit as well, following the Sunday night to a WrestleMania on Monday night. After John Cena's fucking shit promo where he tells us nothing and just says the same shit that he's been saying over the course of the last 3 weeks, he raised his belt. He's telling us he's going to take the championship home. But you hear the crowd as they're cheering. The cheering turns into ooh, and you see Randy Orton turn into or come up in the camera frame behind John Cena while he's raising a belt. Cena doesn't notice him. Cena then turns around. He sees Randy Orton. He mumbles "oh shit" into the mic, and that's when Randy Orton hits John Cena with an RKO. The championship belt that John Cena was holding falls to the floor. Randy Orton picks it up, looks at it, and his eyes are now set on the WWE Championship. Because he did tell Cody after he was done, Cody, that is, after Cody was done beating Cena, he was going to come after number 15. Unfortunately for Randy, Cody took an L, but he's still coming after 15. Are you looking forward to this match at Backlash, Randy Orton versus John Cena? And who, if so, who do you have walking away as the champion following that match?
It kind of seems like this is the way that we're heading, and I am excited. Like I said, if this is the catalyst that kind of just moves us forward from the bullshit that happened before, and they just kind of expect us to forget about it, I'm fine with that. I know some people aren't. I'm fine with that. And what a better way to just again kick off this, I guess, retirement tour the right way than having John Cena face one of his classic rivals in Randy Orton, especially at a pay per view that's, I don't know, I guess embodies Randy Orton and is going to be in his hometown. I'm excited for this match. Like I said before, if Cena just wants to run back all his classic matches and then maybe end with a couple newer, rivalries or whatever, I'm fine with that. So Cena, Randy, who wins at Backlash? I think I still have Cena because I mean you have to make at least this retirement tour, make sense for as much as you can now, and that would be just having John hold that belt for a while longer at least, if not till the end of his career. I don't see him holding it till the end of his career, but you got to have him hold it at least a little bit longer. You can't make everything that happened be for no reason, or you'll really send Rob into an aneurysm. It has to make sense, and I feel like this is the way that we make sense. We're just gonna get past all the other bullshit, and the first stop is Randy versus John, and I'm not mad at it, brother. I'm not mad at it, and I really do hope John Cena wins.
You're gonna be mad when Travis Scott shows up at Backlash and helps John Cena win. I promise you that. But I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna wait until the whenever that date is, and then we'll talk about it then. Um, But no, listen, I'm looking forward to it. It's gonna be probably a weak match, but interesting feud. We've seen these guys go back and forth. One of John Cena's better rivals, probably the greatest John Cena rival. Um of all time, their battles back in the day, especially during the Ruthless Aggression era, them both coming up at the same time. Their careers are perfectly in sync with each other's. And I'm looking forward to seeing what we get out of this match, out of this feud. Hopefully, Cena shows up to work. We will see. We will see. I do hope he returns next week and he gives us a response to that RKO he just took. Um, but moving on to another interesting match, AJ Styles versus Logan Paul. 13-minute match. Very, in my opinion, another one. This one was in a very tough spot because we had just had all those pops, all those fantastic matches between the Women's World Championship, the Intercontinental Championship, the Sin City Street Fight, and the pop we got for Joe Hendry. I think the people were tired here. But AJ Styles versus Logan Paul, a short match, 13 minutes with Logan Paul going over. He won this following hitting his new finisher, the Pulverizer, on Styles for the victory, but not before he had some assistance from one of his little friends that comes to the show. But that friend was met by Karrion Cross, who was there to assist AJ Styles because Karrion Cross is of the belief that Logan Paul is a fraud and AJ Styles needs to beat Logan Paul in order to defend all of pro wrestling and ensure that there is some sort of respect there. But unfortunately, AJ Styles didn't want his help. He ended up pushing and punching Karrion across the way. This gave enough time for Logan Paul to get his act together, recover from whatever offense he just took. That's when he hit the pulverizer on AJ Styles and took the victory there. Wanted to get your thoughts on this match here. Know you're a big AJ Styles fan as well. What did you just think of this match in general, and how do you feel about AJ taking the loss here?
This was a quick match, but I think it was a decent match. You know, I feel like I wanted Logan to go out there and prove himself, and I'm not quite sure that he stepped it up to the plate as much as I would like. But it wasn't a bad showing. I don't think Logan Paul has had a bad showing uh, in a WrestleMania pay per view, to be honest. So it kind of sucked to not see him push himself to the max like I wanted him to. But I mean, it has to be extremely intimidating to be inside of the ring with someone like AJ Styles. You know, AJ Styles is one of those people that we see as almost like a perfectionist in wrestling. You know, he knows what he's doing and he's good at it. So being under that pressure, I would imagine cracked Logan a little bit, but he did win, and that's exactly what I wanted because, like I said before, I feel like this will be a big year for him if he doesn't fuck it up. This will be a big year for him. He really needs to kick it into high gear, but this could be a giant year if he really puts in the work. And as we saw on Monday, it doesn't seem like this will be a feud that continues ongoing because it seems like AJ Styles is ready to move on. And I'm glad because if we are going on this, quieter AJ Styles retirement tour, I do want to see him wrestle a variety of people. I don't want him to be stuck in super long feuds. If his last feud is a big feud, I'm all for that. I understand that. But I don't want to pigeonhole him into these longer feuds when we can really have, a smaller series of matches with a lot of other talent that he hasn't gotten to work with. And I feel like that's something that he also kind of looks forward to. He's always been someone that is excited to work with the younger talent to kind of, mold them into what is the business now. So I would love to see him get his hands on some people that we really haven't seen him face, especially with the extended, injury time that he's taken off. That's kind of reduced possibly the time that we get with him. So I want to maximize the time we have with him, and sticking him in a feud with Paul right now wouldn't have been the call. So I'm glad that they're moving forward. I'm glad that AJ's going about his own. So that just leaves us with Logan Paul. What is he gonna do? He doesn't necessarily have a belt right now. He used to have a belt. He didn't really do much with it. So I am kind of excited to see if maybe he potentially gets a chance at a belt and he finally shows us that he can be a proper champion. Will that happen anytime soon? I don't know. It's really up in the air right now. We're kind of in this gray area where we're starting to learn, the effects of post Mania and where the stories are going to go on throughout the year. So it'll be exciting within the next couple weeks to figure out where both of these guys are going because they are great talents.
I would love to see AJ Styles face the likes of Ilya Dragunov once Ilya comes back from injury. Shit, we're probably gonna get AJ Styles versus Karrion Cross at Backlash if they're smart about it, if they finally fucking pay attention to what the fans are saying. Because Karrion Cross over the course of the last 2 to 3 months has gotten over naturally. Anytime, even when he popped at Mania, I felt like that was a bigger pop than AJ and Logan got for that same match. So I think the fans want to see Karrion, and I think AJ versus Karrion would be an interesting one there. And like you said, if this is a quiet retirement tour on behalf of AJ Styles, then let's go out putting some people over. I think Karrion Cross would be a good place to start. And Ilya Dragunov when he returns would be interesting to watch. I don't think we've seen AJ Styles versus Gunther. So get us some matches, some fun matches in there. Let's mix some things up. I think that'd be great. Especially following now that Gunther doesn't have a championship, now that AJ just took a loss. Both men could be fighting for a top spot. But we'll see. We will see. I don't know about Logan. Logan shows up every fucking 6 months, so we won't see him again until they go to Saudi Arabia. So whatever. Uh, but moving into the last match that we'll discuss, because we already talked about the fucking main event, that dumbass shit. Moving into the second to last match of the night, WWE Women's Tag Team Championship, Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez versus Bailey and Lyra Valkyria. But if you didn't hear, guys, if you didn't hear, Bailey was attacked backstage on Saturday night. She was attacked backstage on Saturday night. So it was announced that she would be missing her match at Sunday's WrestleMania. Adam Pearce told Lyra Valkyria she needs to find a partner as soon as possible, or else she's gonna lose her spot at WrestleMania and the match will be canceled. So of course, immediately I said, you know who's coming back? Becky fucking Lynch. And here comes Sunday night. Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez make their entrance. Uh Lyra Valkyria makes her entrance. And there's a pause because whenever there's a big pop, they fucking give us like a little extra 4 second pause until the next song plays. And then all you hear is whoa, and the crowd goes nuts. The Titantron shows the man, and Becky Lynch is back in Las Vegas. And she was the mystery teammate for Lyra Valkyria. Both women and Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez have a quick 10-minute match. Nothing too spectacular, if I'm being honest. But it was a solid match. What was interesting to me was the fact that Lyra Valkyria and Becky Lynch did walk away as the tag team champions because Becky Lynch was able to hit her manhandle slam on Liv Morgan for the win. Listen, I've only been to a couple of WrestleMania events in my lifetime. I'd say about 8 or 9. In two of those main events, the two of those shows were pay-per-views, the only pay-per-views I've ever been able to go to. SummerSlam 2021 and WrestleMania 41. In both of those pay-per-views, we're both in Las Vegas, Nevada. And in both of those pay-per-views, Becky Lynch just so happened to make a return. In that same return, she wins a championship match. The first time I saw her in SummerSlam 2021, she beat Bianca Belair, the then SmackDown Women's Champion, who had just main evented WrestleMania against Sasha Banks, maybe 3 or 4 or 5 months before that. She beat Bianca Belair in no more than 30 seconds. And it only took 30 seconds. It took 30 seconds because they did the little stare shit where they look at the crowd, They look at each other, then they look at the other side of the crowd, then they look back at each other. And once that was done, that took about 15 seconds. Then Becky hit the manhandle slam, and it was over for Bianca. Her title reign, bam, snap. It was quicker than Thanos' snap. That shit was over. So anytime I've been to one of these goddamn events, Becky Lynch seems to find her way in a championship match that she wasn't supposed to be in and finds a way to win it. And when she popped, I wasn't too excited. I was like, all right, cool. Becky's here. Figured it was her. She's probably gonna win the match, and of course she did. I know you're a big Becky fan. I know you think that she's one of the if not the best of the horsewomen, if not of the best of the
Oh.
horsewomen, definitely the second best. At least this to my understanding, this is what I get from the conversations that you and I have. Just a big Becky fan. So I know you were excited to see her. You must have been so hyped to see her team up with Lara Valkyria and walk away as the tag team champion here. But when you heard Becky Lynch's music and you saw the man pop up on the Titantron, what were your first thoughts there? And what did you think of Becky Lynch's return and winning the tag team championship?
I left. I didn't watch this match. I left because of her pop. I have absolutely no love for Becky. And this is why. And I'm going to sound like Cena right now, but it's because of fucking fans like the ones that were in the fucking arena. Where was the same energy that they had for fucking Charlotte and the whole like, oh, she's going to come back and win. She better not come back and win. Where the fuck was that for Becky? Because Becky did not deserve to fucking win this. And especially after what happened last night, definitely did not fucking expect to win this or deserve to win this. But they continuously keep giving this this woman whatever the fuck she wants. And it's fucking annoying. She's not even, I'm going to be disrespectful as fuck. She's not even good. She's not even fucking mid. She's dog shit in my opinion.
That's
Best fucking horsewoman, my fucking ass. I'll give that shit to fucking Sasha Banks before I give it to fucking Becky Lynch. There is no fucking rhyme or reason why we had to do this at Mania. None. For what? For them to fucking win it back on Monday Night Raw? You could have done the fucking angle that you did on Monday, on Sunday, and it would have had more of an effect. Why the fuck you decided to put a blemish in your tag team champions fucking record is beyond fucking me. But I could tell you why they did it. They did it because it's fucking Becky Lynch. This is the same shit that pissed me off when they did this shit to Bianca, and it'll be the same shit that pisses me off on this fucking WrestleMania, is the fact that they decided to take a belt and give it to Becky when they had no fucking rhyme or reason to do it. Why? Why are we doing this? These people do not deserve something upon their return. Nothing. You didn't give Miro a fucking belt chance when he fucking returned off the back. So why the fuck are we doing this shit? Rusev, Miro, whatever. Why are we doing this shit, bro? Honestly, where is that same energy? I'm pissed at the fans. I am fucking John Cena full mode right now. Where the fuck was that energy? The same shit, the same way you turned your back on fucking Cody, you turned your back on everybody else when you decided to say it's okay for Becky Lynch to win this fucking belt. It was not. I don't know where obviously I do. They're going for fucking, the mentor versus the understudy and Lyra versus Becky. I don't give a fuck. I do not want to see that shit. And that sucks because I've recently become a fan of Lyra. This has nothing on Lyra. This is all Becky. I do not fucking want to see you on my fucking screen. Go home, be a mother. You said you didn't want to be inserted in a fucking match just to be inserted. And that is exactly what fucking happened. And that is so fucking unfair to everybody else in that fucking locker room. I hated this. I didn't even fucking watch this match. I came back, saw her hold that fucking belt, and I fucking left again. So I have no idea what happened in this match. This gets no stars from me because what the fuck was that?
Nah, that brother said go home and be a mom. Nah, man, listen.
Now I'm feeling your Cena heat, dog. Now I'm feeling your Cena heat because this shit got me heated. Because why, bro? Every fucking time she comes back, we take it off of Bianca. She comes back, we take it off Liv. Why, bro? Why the fuck do you always praise this goddamn woman? She's not even that great, bro. Holy,
I
Go on,
l
go on. I'm done. I'm
listen,
done. You go.
I don't praise her. I don't praise her as much as these other individuals, but I do think she's solid. I will agree with you. I think it's disrespectful. I think it's crazy. I don't know what devil magic she has worked on whoever makes these decisions, but she has some sort of chokehold on them. Don't know what sort of information she has holding over their head, but it seems like anytime she wants to make a return, she does return for a championship. And she did so this weekend. Mentioned the very next night, Lyra and Becky did lose the tag championships to Liv and Raquel in a rematch. It was Lyra who took the pin in the rematch, and Becky was upset. She was shocked. She said, "How the fuck did we just lose this shit?" And she seemed like she was gonna pick up Lyra and just rub her off, rub her back, rub her shoulders off to say, "Hey, it's all good." But when the match was over and she helped her teammate up, she was gonna walk away from the ring, but she decided to turn around and clothesline Lyra. So that's when she turned heel, I guess per se. She clotheslined Lyra. She walked away talking shit. She wasn't done. She came back, continued her beatdown on Lyra Valkyria until she got the point across, and the fans booed. But I just felt like it was rushed. Like you could have extended, you could have extended that. You could have done one or two things. You could have extended that angle over the course of a couple weeks to really settle it in. Build equity in the friendship of Lyra and Becky on television so the fans can understand, so the fans could, start to cheer, get behind it, and then turn her. Don't just do it the next night. Like, then why the fuck didn't you just do it at WrestleMania? You would have got a much bigger pop out of that, especially if she would have lost, she would have turned there, and then you would have came on to the WrestleMania knowing what this is about, knowing where we're going with the whole Becky Lynch story. I think it would have um, it would have aided to her character and would have made it a little bit more interesting. But to do it the night after, just interesting decisions there. Again, creative decisions that are being made by a few people in the back. They have to get approved, and I don't know. It doesn't surprise me though. It doesn't surprise me that they went with this route. It really doesn't, because some decisions just aren't the best that they've been making over the course of the last couple months. This might have been one of them. I'm not as animated as you are about how you feel about Becky Lynch. She ain't really do no wrong to me. I just really didn't appreciate that Bianca shit. That Bianca shit was crazy, crazy, crazy. Um, but besides that, I think she's solid. She's probably hmm. I don't know if she's even the third best. I don't know. Charlotte is nice. Charlotte is nice. Prime Charlotte was nice. Sasha Banks is Sasha Banks. You might not like Sasha Banks, but she has a resume that speaks for herself. Itself. Bailey as well. Bailey and her are interchangeable between the 3 and the 4. But I'm a rock with Bailey. I'm a rock with Bailey. I'm gonna give Bailey the third spot there. So I guess that leaves Becky at 4. But I know you feel so highly on her. You have her at number 1. Um, so I know you're looking forward to seeing how her story progresses over the course of the next few weeks. We'll get that Lyra and Becky match at Backlash probably also. I hope Lyra wins. She's been great. I'm glad the people are finally getting behind her. I was genuinely surprised by the amount of cheers that she got at WrestleMania, and I'm happy that she did because the fans are finally starting to get behind her and appreciate her, and she's fantastic in the ring. And no, all in all, good stuff on her behalf. But we will have to see about Becky Lynch. That was the second to last match. Of course, the main event was the undisputed WWE Championship match between Cody Rhodes and John Cena. I don't need to talk about that shit anymore. Said what I had to say. I'm good off that. Do you have anything you wanted to add in regards to that match?
For John Cena, Cody Rhodes, and no, just that I noticed that you probably ranted at the beginning as long as that match went, so that's interesting.
Yeah. Yeah. I I don't know. I don't know. We will I guess I'm just gonna have to keep watching to get some fucking answers. But What of the 2 nights, a lot of matches that we got, wanna ask, what was your favorite match of the 2 nights? If you can't pick between one, feel free to let me know your favorite 2, one in each night, that would be great, but just wanna get your thoughts on which match you walked away from knowing, you enjoyed, and you might wanna go back and rewatch a few times later down the line.
I mean, the one that I've been wanting to rewatch, I just haven't gotten a chance, is that main event night one. I think that match was phenomenal. What's coming from it is phenomenal. So I'm very excited to see, what I catch on my rewatch of that match. See if I see any other little, any clues or hints to the stuff that's happening now. But yeah, I would say that night one main event, that's probably my favorite match. What was your favorite match of both nights?
Night 1, I would probably say the triple threat match as well. I thought it was just a great match, a great ending, just all together, just fantastic from the entrance to the finish. Just that's what a main event is. One that makes fucking sense. Um, thought that was great. Yeah, that was really only the stand away match for me on night 1. Night 2, I'd have to give it to Io Sky, Bianca Belair, and Rhea Ripley. Easily, easily, easily. That might be my match of the weekend. That might be my match of the weekend.
It was a good one.
Best match all weekend. It was fucking fantastic. And I've went back and I rewatched it a few times because it was fucking fantastic. What I haven't rewatched is that stupid ass John Cena match that took place in the main event. Haven't rewatched that. But Io Sky, Rhea Ripley, Bianca Belair, perfect. That was amazing. 5 stars. 5 stars. In terms of favorite Mania moments, WrestleMania is all about moments. Talk about, John Cena going into the crowd to celebrate his championship win. Just all these different types of moments across decades. Was there any standout moment that you really enjoyed here at this year's WrestleMania?
Two. I said one earlier. I think the Randy Orton hitting Joe Hendry's as like the comical point of the night. I feel like that was a highlight. But if you're talking about just like in ring, WrestleMania moments that will probably make it onto a WWE, playlist or that we'll go back and watch a lot, leading up to next WrestleMania, I would have to say it's a Dom's victory. Dom's victory was such a big high point of the night. It was such a crowning moment that I would have to say that crowns everything else. The big moment of the weekend was him finally getting a belt on the big stage, and honestly, what a fucking moment for him. So I gotta say that's probably my favorite moment. Do you have any? Do you have more than one that you want to share with us?
Yeah, the Dominic moment was fucking great. I really did enjoy that, man. It was fucking great to watch. Beautiful to be in the arena. Glad to be cheering a part of that and just to partake in that there. Um, The second the 2 RKOs that Randy Orton hit on Joe Hendry, I thought were also fantastic. Just a burst of laughter in the stadium. And I think it was a great moment for Joe Hendry. Like he gets that viral moment. He's all about being viral. And again, he's gonna at some point he's gonna be in the WWE. Like it is what it is. He'll get the call up from the G League to the main roster at some point. Or definitely both of those moments there. And then of course Paul Heyman, with the 2 nut shots, CM Punk, his best friend, and Roman Reigns, his tribal chief, who are no longer. Um, just when you think about like an epic WrestleMania moment, that's one that you're gonna look back upon. You're gonna remember where you were when you watched it, and it's gonna have so many repercussions and ripple effects across the WWE, and we're seeing it already. Braun Breaker is now automatically catapulted into the main event picture, especially with the new faction that he is now a part of. So that's great, and those are the moments that I truly enjoyed. But let's switch it over to a little negativity here. Was there any match that you were looking forward to that left you in disappointment or left you wanting a little bit more from that particular match?
I mean, I guess this is where I'd probably say night two tag match, but I feel like that's a little unfair just because I mean, they were thrown into a situation that they weren't really ready for. So I would have to say just the main event, brother. Like for night two, the same shit that we said earlier. You know, there was no need for the Travis Scott involvement. I felt like John Cena could have done that all on his own, and we probably would have had a better crowd reaction. You know, even if those two figured out a finish different on their own, it would have been a lot better than what they gave us at the end of that night. So the biggest disappointment was literally my biggest, match I was looking forward to, which was John Cena versus Cody Rhodes. It sucks to say because sadly that is the last time we're gonna get to see the GOAT wrestle at WrestleMania. And like I said before, I hate that the moment was taken from me because that was a moment that not just me
Bro.
as fans, everybody, we should have, win or lose, we should have felt some way, and just that involvement in its own was just, it completely robbed us as fans of that moment. What about you? I
You
feel like you're
100%.
you're gonna say the same thing, but what was
No,
the big night?
100%.
Yeah, what was the point that disappointed you of the night?
100%. Big fucking failure. Big fucking failure of a main event. Fucking, I waited from elimination chamber to now. They said, wait, wait, it's gonna all culminate at WrestleMania. It's all gonna end there. You're gonna get a big aha moment. And no, no, no. I was made to be a fucking fool. I was made to be a fool as a fan, as a viewer, as a participant. I was made to look like a fucking fool alongside Cody Rhodes, and no, that insulted my fucking intelligence, and I will not stand for it. It's fucking bullshit. Travis fucking Scott, Travis fucking Scott. Like, think about that shit, man. Travis fucking Scott came out to help John Cena win his 17th championship. The sad part about John Cena winning 17 at WrestleMania 41 was no one gave a fuck. All they gave a fuck was about Travis Scott being the reason why they did it. And what the fuck was his involvement there? It's disgusting. I cannot believe it. And I'm getting worked up about it again, and it's really pissing me off. I cannot fucking believe it. Um just Oh my god. Anyways, the other match that fucking disappointed me was AJ Styles versus Logan Paul. I was really looking forward to this match. I thought it was gonna be, a big spot monkey match, spot fest. We didn't get that. It was a different Logan Paul match. It was definitely a different Logan Paul match. Not your typical Logan Paul match where he gets, crazy spots like he did against the Ricochet when they met. In the middle of the air when they jumped off, springboarded off the rope and hit a flying elbow on each other, or the frog splash that he hit on Cody Rhodes from the top rope onto the announce table. None of that crazy stuff there. And just a little bit disappointed in that match. I thought it was going to be a lot better, but hopefully AJ picks it up with the few more matches that he has left as he works his way into retirement. But was there any match that caught you by surprise at how great and how good it was, and while you watched it, while you enjoyed this weekend's WrestleMania?
Not in a negative way, but just like out of like enjoyment. I didn't think that they were gonna go probably as hard, or it being, I don't know. I guess I didn't think that they were gonna go all gas no breaks on it, and they really did. And just by that, you should already know that I'm talking about Ellen Knight versus Jacob Fatu. That was a match that I was definitely looking forward to, and I knew should be a good match on paper. But they really just went out there and they blew it out the park, and they gave us a surprise that really a lot of us didn't see coming, and that was finally getting gold on Jacob Fatu. It is a little soon, but let's see what they can do with it. Jacob is a star all on his own, and it's exciting to see that they see that too, and they're willing to gamble, putting a belt on him this soon. He is the right person for this. I still think that LA Knight was a great US champion, and hopefully we get to see him do, bigger and better things sooner than later. But right now Jacob is king of that belt, and it's an exciting time. And for that reason, that match and all on its own kind of just surprised me over the weekend. I didn't expect it to be that level of good, but it just was. It was a great moment, not only for the fans but for Jacob. What was your surprising moment of the weekend? Was there a surprising moment of the weekend besides being completely disappointed at the main event?
Not that no, no, that was the biggest surprise that they had waiting for me at the end. But the match that I wasn't expecting to be as great as it was, not because I didn't think it was gonna be great, I just didn't think it was gonna be that great. Was the first match of night two, Io Sky versus Bianca Belair versus Rhea Ripley. I will sing this match's praises for their as long as I'm alive. This match was fucking fantastic. In the arena, I may be biased because I was in that bitch, but in that bitch, this shit was crazy. Everyone was rooting for Io Sky when she won it. Again, Io, Dominic, fucking those are the two winners of WrestleMania weekend. And fantastic outing for Io Sky. This just propelled her, like she was already a star. But now she's a superstar. Like now she's like on the level of a Bianca Belair and Rhea Ripley. She was already there in ring wise, but I think like in the fans of the not so in the know audience, the casual viewer. I think this really put her over the edge there with those fans, and will appreciate her a lot more just because of the outing she had. So I'm happy for Io Sky. I'm glad she took the belt home. Just a fucking fantastic match. Really should have main evented night two. Really should have. Really should have. Because then I would have had an opportunity. Like they should have flip flopped that bitch. Because then at that point I would have had an opportunity to forget what the fuck I just saw in the first 22 minutes of that stupid ass show. Anyways. No, we touched upon the Raw after Mania a little bit here and there and what has occurred already. We touched upon the main points, but wanted to give you an opportunity and for me to ask you, were there any favorite moments on the Raw after Mania that you enjoyed, or maybe a moment that we didn't get an opportunity to talk about that you want to make sure does not go unnoticed?
I mean, it got kind of ruined with some interjections, which I'm kind of glad because I didn't think that it was time for us to even have this match. But my girl Stephanie Vicker popped on EO. You know, EO was having her celebration, and she was like, "I want to face the best." And then out comes probably one of the best that we have in the business right now, Stephanie Vicker. So that was a moment. They had a nice match that sadly got interrupted, but then again, not so sadly because this is a SummerSlam caliber match. This is a WrestleMania caliber match. I was kind of disappointed that we were about to blow this on a Monday Night Raw. So I'm glad that we didn't get a, conclusive winner of that match because I'm excited to see that further on down the road. And that was one of my favorite moments of Raw. Another one was Russo's pop. I'm glad that he's back. He looks phenomenal. I'm excited to see what they do. There's some big boys in this company now that I feel like they're gonna put him up against, and that's gonna be a good time. And then finally, just the last segment of Monday Night Raw. The building of this new Paul Heyman faction. This brings a lot of prospect, a lot of storylines that can happen, and it already has three of the biggest names in the company right now. You have the best mouthpiece in the game. You have one of the best talents that we've seen as a workhorse in the game, and you have this rising star that we all know will be the next big thing. So just that alone is very exciting. Like a very exciting prospect post Mania. This is what we want to see. We want to start seeing these storylines that we're going to be progressing on this now on season. Because we finished the last season. Now it's post Mania, new season. All very exciting stuff to see. And I'm just excited to see the product. I know that there's a couple bumpy roads that we need to traverse before we get to the promised land. But hey, I hope that we get there. I hope that for your sake, for your mental health, we get there. But I'm excited. But yeah, those are my three favorite moments from the Raw after Mania. This is always our big show, so let me know your favorite moments. I want to know if you have some didn't make my list.
Yeah, I wouldn't listen. Shit, not a bumpy road. We got 2 3 foot potholes every 2 feet. It's not just bumpy. This shit's a little bit more than bumpy. But in terms of Raw after Mania, a few of my favorite moments here. I really just enjoyed Dominic winning again and beating Penta. really loved cementing the fact that Pence is just getting sent back to the mid card, and him and his brother at some point are gonna have to team up
You're so
because
disrespectful,
he
dude.
needs some he needs some
He
he
doesn't need
needs some
him.
help. So I'm glad we saw that. We're reinforcing the fact that he's a loser individually. I'm
Yeah,
glad
I
that we're
fucking hate you.
reinforcing this. Um,
You're so disrespectful.
and so we'll get to move forward, and we'll get the Ray Phoenix and Penta team up. So I really did enjoy that moment there. Um,
I hope Travis Scott comes back now.
I mean, I'm not delusional. I know that he's coming back. So when he comes back and you get upset, then I'd like to see it. Because I'm not gonna get upset anymore. I've already been as mad as I can get. It's just acceptance. That part of fucking grief is over now. I'm in acceptance, and it is what it is. But I did enjoy that Dominic win here. I'm glad they won that match. The Becky Lynch heel turn, wouldn't say it was a favorite moment, but an interesting one. Let's see where we go from here. Let's see what Becky Lynch does moving forward. I know you're gonna be tuned in. So I can't wait to gather your thoughts on this and then what happens on this next episode of Monday Night Raw. But all in all, I thought it was a very well put together episode of Raw after Mania. Um, and they needed to bounce back following the shit show that they provided over the course of the last 15 minutes of that fucking WrestleMania main event match. Um, they didn't clean it up completely, but they did give me a reason to tune back in next week. Because when I tell you I was genuinely concerned. I was concerned. I wasn't gonna watch that shit like yesterday. I wasn't. I was pissed. I still am pissed. But the Braun Breaker, Seth Rollins, and Paul Heyman shit, I'm intrigued. I'm intrigued. I'll be back. I just need a little break because the motherfuckers is tripping over there. But I am looking forward to seeing how that story plays out. Let's see who gets added into that faction. Maybe an Ethan Page will make things interesting. Um, but I cannot wait also for the tag team division and who Kofi Kingston and Xavier Woods will be facing, because I'm of the belief we're gonna get a very good tag team that enjoys to wear some masks, and they've grown up together as brothers, and I think we're finally gonna get the Lucha Bros challenging for those titles sooner rather than later. So I'm looking forward to that. Um, but what a fucking weekend. What an absolute blast of a weekend that we had. That we got to go to Friday Night SmackDown together. That was fun. You got to see John Cena right before he decided to do some dumbass shit. So I'm glad you got to enjoy your last moment seeing John Cena. Anything in particular that you took away from the weekend that you thoroughly enjoyed that you want to make sure to highlight?
No, I mean, like I said, I don't have a problem with a lot of the stuff that happened. There's some dumb decisions made, but I feel like we can get past them and we can move on. I had a ton of fun on SmackDown. You, me, my girlfriend went. Your nephew Aiden went. We had a fucking blast. And then you got to be there on Sunday night, so that was also fucking awesome. You sent me a couple pictures. We'll have to post them on the socials, but yeah, I had a fun time this weekend. We even got to go to a superstore and we had some fun over there. It was a good weekend overall, you know. Some regrettable decisions made by the company, but it's nothing that we can't fix over time. Overall, though, if I had to rank WrestleMania, I would honestly over the whole weekend, I would probably just give it like a 3.5, just because it was fun and all, but there was definitely some decisions that could have been avoided. But I had fun with the show. I can't say I didn't. There's been some WrestleManias where I'm fucking bored to death, and this just wasn't one of them. So overall, I would say that they did a decent job with this year's WrestleMania.
Yeah, I had an absolute blast being out there in Las Vegas, getting to, be a part of the WWE universe. It's always fun interacting with other fans, because everyone is always there just to have a good time. That's the best, and I think that goal was achieved. Enjoyed SmackDown. Grateful to have been able to attend WrestleMania 41, even if it didn't end in the fashion in which I wanted and I know other fans wanted. I was grateful to be in the building. Still got to be a part of history. John Cena, number 17. Um, I can't even say it with a smile. I can't even enjoy it, bro. I can't even enjoy it. I don't want to lie to you guys. I don't. It was bullshit. I'm still upset. Um, I should call my credit card company and file fraud because it's bullshit. I'm genuinely still upset. But I really did enjoy everything else besides the main event. In terms of my ranking, my rating for WrestleMania, I'm gonna give it. I'm doing it on a scale of 10. On a scale of a 1 to 10, shit's getting a 6 for me. Night one, mid. It was really mid. The main event saved it, and that moment saved it with Paul Heyman. But besides that, I thought the matches before that were relatively mid. Besides a few outliers such as the Jacob Fatu and LA Knight match. But besides that, thought it was mid. Night two, fantastic, fan fucking tastic up until the main event. Would have been the perfect show if you made it one night and just done all the matches on night two, and except for the main event, and then done the main event on night one. Would have been perfect, 10 out of 10. That's not the case. But all in all, great weekend. Um, we're just gonna have to wait to see what Triple H has in store for us, and what's to come, what is to come. I'll try to be patient. We will see next week if I have given up on the WWE yet, because I was on the brink. I was on the brink. But thank you so much for listening to this week's episode of the Word Around the Ring podcast, which of course was brought to you by none other than Neo Pizza. Make sure you guys are following Neo Pizza at Pizza Neo Pizza to stay updated on all the current menu selections, special events, and everything in between. When you're in the Las Vegas area, please make sure to go get yourself a slice of pizza from Neo Pizza. But that concludes this week's episode of the Word Around the Ring podcast. Thank you so much, all, for listening and for allowing me to air my grievances with the horrible decisions that were made across the WWE this weekend and the horrible decisions that will continue to be made across the WWE moving forward. But if you haven't already, please make sure to like, subscribe, and follow across all of our social media platforms, including Instagram, X, and TikTok at the Word Around the Ring podcast. We will see you all next week.